Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
It's time for baseball here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's a beautiful Friday night. The Arizona Diamondbacks are here from the National League West. Game one of this three-game series, and the roof is wide open. Set up for a dandy tonight. Got a big concert after the game from Joe Nichols, and a lot of fanfare here at Miller Park this evening. Hi, everybody. Brian Anderson along with Bill Schroeder. Sophia Menon is our reporter. We are delighted to have you with us here tonight. The Brewers and the Diamondbacks, two teams that are both coming off sweeps in their last series and trying to get things turned around. And the Brewers are taking a big step here tonight because their starting shortstop, a former All-Star, Gene Segura, returns.
Yeah, starting to get healthy. Jonathan Lucroy may be in the middle of the next road trip, but good to have Segura back. He comes off as soon as he could. He was due to come off yesterday, team day off yesterday, but Segura really didn't even want to be on the disabled list. That broken pinky finger on a slide into third base put him on the DL. The Brewers concerned that had they not taken care of it right away, it would have been a bad deal. But good to have him back, his athleticism out there at shortstop, and certainly one of the more consistent hitters in this Brewers lineup in the beginning part of the season. So we'll see how Segura fares if they're not having any rehab.
That is a right fractured pinky he is coming back from on his top hand. We'll see how he goes tonight. Big Jimmy Nelson on the mound, coming off a big start. Needs another one here tonight. Craig and Augie will break him down when we come back on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
You by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. At Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Big number 52, Jimmy Nelson on the hill for Milwaukee tonight. He's facing Ruby De La Rosa. Neither pitcher has faced their respective opponents. So first coming up here tonight. Welcome back to our coverage here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. I'm Craig Kishon alongside Jerry Augustine. Let's talk more about Jimmy Nelson on the hill for Milwaukee here tonight. If teams can get to him early, that usually spells some big-time damage. If they can't, he only gets better as the game goes on. Why is that?
Well, it's no doubt about it. It's about a young pitcher trying to find that comfort zone early in the ball game. Sometimes what you try to do is you get out there, you try to be over-aggressive. What we see out of Jimmy Nelson early in ball games, a little bit of overthrowing the breaking ball, not locating his fastball like to. But once he settles down and gets into that game and gets into that even flow, he finds that comfort zone. And when he finds that breaking ball has been very good, that slider's been excellent, and he's been commanding to good locations with that fastball.
Last couple of starts for Jimmy Nelson. His numbers there, just has to avoid the walks here again tonight. Well, the Brewers try and open the series here this weekend by ending a 5-game slide that is currently up to Jimmy Nelson now to be the stopper here tonight. Enjoy it.
Exchanging the lineups. Chip Hale and Craig Counsell, both in their first year as big league skippers. Brewers baseball presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. We invite you to book your stay now. Retro Friday tonight. It is perfect outside. 73 degrees. Just a few puffs up there right now. The roof is open. Not expecting any rain in the near future. Might have to close it up a little bit later tonight, but for now we're in great shape for baseball. And Jimmy Nelson and the Brewers and their Retro Friday pinstripes hit the field. Brewers need a big start from Jimmy Nelson, matching up against the heavy-hitting Arizona Diamondbacks. Chip Hale's club comes in 4th in the National League in team batting, and they have an MVP candidate in the middle of their order in Paul Goldschmidt. Here's the batting order for Chip Hale today. It is courtesy of Potawatomi. Ender Inciarte will lead off. A.J. Pollock bats second. There's Goldschmidt in the 3 spot. In the middle of the order, it's David Peralta, Yasmani Tomas, the Cuban defector from, the rookie Cuban defector. Jared Saltalamacchia does the catching. It's his first game with Arizona. Chris Owings, Nick Ahmed, and Ruby De La Rosa will round out the starting 9 that will match up against Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, last 2 starts for Jimmy resulted in no decisions. He won 2 in a row. He's won 2 decisions in a row. Look at the earned run average. Very good for Nelson. A 367 earned run average, a 2-5 record. The only problem that he's had as of late has been the base on balls. Last 2 starts, they combined 9 walks. Last time out, 5 walks, but only 1 scored against the Braves. Now let's check out the Milwaukee Brewers as they line up defensively. Brought to you by Menards tonight. You got Park, Gomez, and Braun in the outfield. Aramis Ramirez at third. Gene Segura, good to have him back in the lineup. That moves Sardinas over to second base. Adam Linden first, and Juan Centeno getting a start at first base. Maldonado sits this one out tonight.
Bob Davidson will call the balls and strikes. We might have a balk tonight. Brian Blackney, Jerry Lane is the crew chief. He's out at second base, and Hunter Wendelstedt is the third base umpire. All the pieces in place. We're ready for baseball on a beautiful Friday night. Great to have you with us this evening. We'll hear from Sophia Minard in just a little bit. Nelson's first pitch to Ender Inciarte is down and in, and away we go. Diamondbacks just got swept by the Cardinals. They had a day off yesterday, spent their day off here in Milwaukee, enjoying the sights of Brewtown as Nelson misses badly inside. And it's 2-0 to the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter. This Diamondbacks ball club swings the bat well. They've got a little bit of power in their lineup. They play excellent defense, Rock, but their pitching has been a struggle this year, and it's one of the reasons they open play today 4 games under 500. They're 21-25.
They feel as though they're making progress after last year when they lost 98 games. Chip Hale trying to get these guys going. They run and gun. They like to run. They're 4th in the league in batting average, but 2nd in runs scored.
2-1 pitch, little chopper out to second base, and there is out number 1. Interesting move for the Brewers. They get Gene Segura back tonight, and they slide Sardinas to second base. He had been playing short. Started 15 games at second base for the Texas Rangers last year. I think a lot were figuring that the Brewers would bring maybe Scooter Gennett back to play second base and send Sardinas down, but he's earned his keep, Sardinas, and he remains on the big league roster.
Well, he's been swinging the bat. He's been kind of maybe a bit of an energizing force in that batting order. The switch hitter. We saw him play second base quite a bit in spring training. I talked to him before the game. He actually did start a game down in the minor leagues before his recall at second base.
A.J. Pollock for the Diamondbacks. There's a strike. Quickly 0-2 on the D-back center fielder. He's going along nicely this year, despite very poor career numbers against Milwaukee. Pollock is hitting .320 coming into play tonight. That's good enough to get him in the top 10 in the league. He's currently 8th in the National League in batting.
Some pretty good batting averages at the top of this batting order for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Now Paul Goldschmidt at the top of the list for Arizona. He's 5th in the league in hitting. Another 0-2. Breaking ball misses from Nelson. First of a 3-game series tonight. Tomorrow we're on Fox Sports 1 in a nationally televised game, and then back on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday for a day game. Did he go? They will ask. No, he didn't. Checked his swing.
Jimmy trying to get him with that big slider, and the Pollock, that could have gone either way. Just barely able to hold up, I guess.
2-2 the count. First base umpire Ryan Blackney, and that one misses down and in. Brewers made a little news today with their transactions, and Segura back, but also the Sunday starter is going to be Tyler Wagner, coming up from Double-A. He's been pitching very well. He's not on the active roster just yet. They'll activate him for Sunday's game. On the ground to Segura, his first ground ball since his return. No problem. Good to get that one out of the way.
I was just going to say, I mean, Segura been playing some solid defense and swinging the bat well before he went on the DL. Actually didn't even want to go on the disabled list. He tried to talk his way on the roster, and yeah, but he's had the issue before, that broken pinky, and the Brewers just didn't want that to get away from him.
He's got a little tape on that right pinky finger. Injured May 12th versus the Chicago White Sox. His first day eligible was yesterday, and his first game today. So the Brewers have had Segura on the DL. Carlos Gomez has spent time on the disabled list. Jonathan Lucroy still on the DL. He's looking at about a month. He's supposed to return on Monday. Sophia will give you an update on Lucroy, who's down in the minor leagues right now. And Aramis Ramirez was hurt, not on the DL, but down for about a week with a back injury. That's been the way the season's gone for Milwaukee. Hopefully they can get all the pieces together here and start to win a few ball games.
Yeah, it's been a while since they've had their opening dud lineup on the field. It's seemed like forever.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. 2 outs, nobody on. Exactly how you want him at the plate.
Tremendous opposite field power for Paul Goldschmidt. You see his numbers. Good numbers this year, and destroys Brewers pitching over his career.
And has always had success here at Miller Park. In his 9 games previous, 4 homers, 12 RBIs in this venue, and he rips that one down the left field line. That is a fair ball. Hits the line, rattles around in the corner, and Goldschmidt back where he loves to hit in Miller Park, and he's got a double here with 2 outs.
And mentioned that he likes to hit the ball to the opposite field. So what does Nelson do? He tries to come inside. Actually, Centeno was sitting up away and looked like he tried to get in on his hands, and Goldschmidt able to keep that one inside the left field line. Almost hits the line. Not a bad pitch, it turned out. Not where he wanted it, but that's how good of a hitter Goldschmidt is.
It's his 10th double to go along with 12 home runs. And a runner at second with 2 away for David Peralta. Arizona's left fielder. Got 2 lefties in the lineup and 1 switch hitter. Saltalamacchia, the catcher, is a switch hitter. He just got here. Released by the Marlins. Diamondbacks signed him, and his first day in the big leagues with Arizona today. There's Jared Saltalamacchia. Had to bring a few extra letters to stitch on that jersey.
Diamondbacks have 2 guys in the lineup with pretty long last names, right? Goldschmidt, Saltalamacchia.
Diamondbacks suffered a big loss. Their starting catcher, Tuffy Goswitch, tore his ACL in Wednesday's game in the 6th inning against St. Louis. Outstanding defensive catcher, kind of the anchor of their excellent defense. Peralta a little late again. It's 0-2. Crowd applauding a nice catch up there by a fan. Came to play tonight, this Friday night crowd. That's the way you do it.
Going to be here a while. Got the concert coming up.
Yeah, Joe Nichols is performing at Miller Park tonight after the game. And that's lined left field. That's fair, and that'll bring a run in. Peralta on an 0-2 pitch with an RBI, scoring Goldschmidt. 1-0 Arizona.
Yeah, pretty good piece of hitting by Peralta right there, taking that 2-seam, was trying to get away from. He just slices it down that left field line, and that was a problem that the Diamondbacks had against the Cardinals. They just could not come up with a hit with men in scoring position, and he had a bunch of them too. That's just a good swing. Not trying to pull it, goes right with it.
Arizona leads the major leagues with 2-out RBIs. That is their 95th 2-out RBI. But you're right, Rock. They were 3 for 25 in that St. Louis series with runners in scoring position, and only 2 of those hits produced runs. 3 for 25. Little jam shot. Yasmani Tomas. And Gomez will run it down. Inning is over at back-to-back doubles with 2 outs. Peralta gives the D-backs the early lead. Last year for their organization. He's got a first inning RBI, and Craig Counsell's Brewers down a run early. Here's the batting order that Counsell has put together, trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Carlos Gomez leads off, then Parra, the former D-back. Ryan Braun hits third. Middle of the order is Adam Lind, Aramis Ramirez, and Gene Segura, and then Juan Centeno, Jimmy Nelson, and Luis Sardinas, the Potawatomi batting order for the Brew Crew.
Ruby De La Rosa getting his 10th start of the year. Good numbers for him. A 4-2 record, 427 the earned run average for De La Rosa. 6'1", 225 pounds. He's 26 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. He's won 2 straight decisions, last 2 no decisions, and one of the best defensive teams in the National League. Actually, they're number 2 in the league with a .989 fielding percentage. You got Peralta, Pollock, and Inciarte in the outfield. Tomas, Ahmed, Owings, and Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt has not committed an error yet this year, and Jared Saltalamacchia, picked up by the Diamondbacks, got released by the Marlins early this year.
Here's Gomez to start it. Swings at the first pitch, and away we go here in the bottom of the first. Gomez comes in with 4 home runs, has 18 driven in. They'd like to see his on-base percentage come up a little bit. He's only getting on at a .305 clip. See a lot of changeups from Ruby De La Rosa. He is a disciple of Pedro Martinez. Martinez taught him that grip, and he has taken that pitch to another level here this season.
He's a strike thrower. He throws pretty well. He's got low to mid-90s fastball with some movement. You're going to see a lot of changeups, particularly against left-handed hitters.
Ball and 2 strikes. Gomez rips one deep left center, and she's gone. A leadoff home run for Carlos Gomez. Tied at 1 with a bang.
Oh, that was a laser beam out of here for Gogo. Wow. On a 1-2 pitch, De La Rosa gets one down in the zone, and look at Gomez goes down and gets it. He knows right away he's got to hit it pretty well. A little too much of the plate. That was a changeup, and knocks it out of here.
Center cut. Right off the barrel of the bat. Gomez having a little fun in the dugout. That's his 9th career leadoff home run. 2nd time he's done it this year. And now has 5 for the season. Parra on the first pitch pops it up. That's Tomas for the first out. Another look at the swing.
Look how well balanced he is on that swing. He'll overswing quite a bit, but not When he makes contact like that, our Powerball home run count to Gomez, number 5. And no cheapie.
And that's why Counsell and the Brewers love him in the leadoff spot. He brings that power threat. Here's Ryan Braun now. Braun takes a strike. Ryan is wrapping up his tenure as co-player of the week in the National League. Shared that honor with Andrew McCutchen. Braun is currently tied for 4th in the league in homers with 12. He is in the top 4 as well in RBIs. He's just an RBI behind Paul Goldschmidt, who's 3rd in the league. And he comes in with a .264 batting average, and that stretch of success during the week that he had to earn him co-player of the week, he raised his average about 20 points. Slow roller out to second. Owings is there for out number 2.
And really starting to handle the fastball, particularly the fastball in on him much better than he did a year ago. Thumb's feeling good. He's back to his old good habits. And the results speak for themselves.
Two away for Adam Lind. Brewers need to get this guy going a little bit. He is a big bat in the middle of their batting order and has proven to be a pretty streaky hitter in his first season with Milwaukee. Has just 2 hits in his last 24 at-bats. Did snap an 0 for 16 skid on Wednesday with a single, and his only hit in that series. He was 1 for 9 as the Brewers got swept in 3 by the Giants. That looks good down the line, and that's going to fall. A base hit. David Peralta playing deep. And Lind has himself a single in his first at bat.
Well, if he continues to stay on the ball like that, he's going to snap out of it quickly. Covers the plate very well. There's been a tendency lately to try and pull the ball a little bit. Maybe thinking about hitting homers. Not sure. Last home run on the 19th. That was in Detroit.
That'll bring up Aramis Ramirez with 2 away. Brewers have tied it on a Gomez homer after the Diamondbacks delivered back-to-back doubles with 2 outs in the first off Jimmy Nelson. David Peralta with the RBI. If you're just picking us up, we're just getting started here tonight at Miller Park.
It's a good pitch. Really does. Has some depth to it. The changeup. Tough to pick up. I guess anytime that Pedro Martinez works with you on a changeup, it's going to be a decent pitch. Might not be Pedro Martinez quality.
Yeah, who has that? The Hall of Famer. He's going in this year, Pedro.
And then you've got 97 to back it up.
He pitches at a lot of different speeds. It's one of the reasons the Diamondbacks are hopeful he can emerge as a top grade starting pitcher. Little jam shot roller over to third. Tomas will go the easy way to end the inning. But the Brewers answer after the Diamondbacks scored in the first. It was Gomez who tied it quickly. His second leadoff homer of the season. We're all even at 1. Brewers baseball tonight, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Jimmy Nelson back to work. We go to the second, trying to survive the first 2 innings. Those are his trouble innings. If he can get through those, then he typically settles down. Look at the ERA in the first and second inning combined. It's at 5.5, and then if he gets past that, a 2.82 earned run average.
And that includes his last start against Atlanta. He was scoreless through 5 innings. Gave up 2 runs. The Atlanta Braves chased him in the 6th. Gave up 2 runs. We talked about the 5 walks in that start, but only one of them came around to score, so he made some good pitches to get himself out of trouble.
He's facing Jared Saltalamacchia, the switch-hitting Diamondbacks catcher. Signed a 3-year deal with the Marlins, and things just didn't work out. They released him. A lot of changes there in Miami. Saltalamacchia still had a good chunk of money remaining on his contract, but was released. The Diamondbacks signed him. He's been in the minor leagues with Arizona. They signed him on May 8th. He played 9 games at their AAA affiliate, couple of homers, 7 RBIs, and as they lost Tuffy Goswitch, he was the first call up. There's a call at strike 3. Nelson hits the back door with a breaking ball.
Yep, slider, able to catch the outside corner. And Jimmy, all of a sudden, he's found that pitch. You can see Centeno setting up on the outer half and frames it there nicely for Bob Davidson. I guess if you lose your starting catcher and you have a catcher in the minor leagues that won a World Series, that's a pretty good option.
Right. Even though he's a struggling player, you got to feel like that's a lot of confidence. I'm sure the Diamondbacks are going to try to get him back to where he was. He's been a productive player in the big leagues. He's had his struggles, but he's also been a very good hitter at times. Swing and a miss. Chris Owings, who is quickly down 0-2. There are not a lot of household names in this lineup, Rock, outside of Paul Goldschmidt. But this is an organization that is trying to build from their system. They've made a number of trades over the last few years and had a change in the managerial role as well. Nelson with 2 quick outs, a strikeout and a ground out in the second inning.
A jam-packed weekend in Miller Park continues with Star Wars Night presented by Kohl's. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Then on Sunday, it's another all-fan giveaway as all fans in attendance get a Bud Selig bobblehead, courtesy of IBS Dynamon. For tickets, go to Brewers.com. Nice event last night here at the ballpark.
What a tremendous party the Brewers threw, and just a great event out in the outfield grass and center field. That was a lot of fun. Bob Uecker emceed the event. The Bud Selig Experience unveiled to the public today.
Yeah, you got to see that. You come to the ballpark, you have to see that. That's amazing.
And the first time you go in there, be ready for the shock value. There is a moment of shock, I promise. It's really, really cool. They did a great job with it.
Yep.
The Bud Selig Experience is open until the 7th inning. And it takes about 30 fans. You know, imagine when you go to Disney or Epcot and you go through the virtual production there. It's kind of the same feel. But it is quite the experience. That's a animated rendering of what it looks like. And it is on the loge level on the left field line. So make sure you spend some time and go check it out.
Get a real good sense of Bud Selig, the man, and the guy that brought baseball back and saved baseball in Milwaukee.
His story is fascinating. Saved baseball in Milwaukee twice. That idea, by the way, was the original thought came from general manager Doug Melvin. He said, why don't we just take his old office, Bud Selig's old office, and do a replica. And they just expanded on it, and Rick Schlesinger added to it, and it ends up as this great historical piece down there. There's a swing and a miss, but the ball gets by Centeno, and Ahmed's going to reach. So a strikeout for Jimmy Nelson. We'll see how they score that pass ball or wild pitch.
I don't think it made the dirt. First time that Centeno has caught Nelson in a game. Yes, it did actually. I think close to being in the dirt. Probably be a wild pitch.
Got to make that play if you're a catcher, though, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, reach out and you catch that baseball, but we'll see how they score. It should have been caught. So these are extra pitches that Nelson's going to have to deal with in this inning.
So 2 outs. And here's Ruby De La Rosa, the pitcher. And you always want that pitcher leading off an inning, and Nelson had it set up that way. That will be scored as a pass ball on Centeno, who's known as a plus defensive catcher.
Man, nothing burns a catcher more than that. Letting one go to the screen on a strike 3. But again, first time he's caught Nelson, he's caught him in the bullpen. Different in game conditions.
Martin Maldonado gets a day off today. Little grounder back to Nelson. Flips it to first, and the Diamondbacks pitcher is retired. Nelson works a scoreless second with a couple of Ks. On Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. By Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Hupy and Abraham, 800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham, tell them you mean business. First of 3 with the Diamondbacks. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. Third member of our team is Sophia Minard. How's it going, Sophia? What do you have for us?
Well, it's great. Thanks, BA. And Craig Counsell before today's game setting his rotation for the rest of the weekend. And as expected, he announced that Tyler Wagner will be called up for his Major League debut and will get the start on Sunday. Now, he said that Tyler is the best guy. He said he's been pitching well for a long stretch of time. Says he's definitely the best guy right now. So in our Blaine's Farm and Fleet down on the farm, we get to know the right-handed pitcher who, again, will make his debut here on Sunday. He was the 4th-round draft pick in 2012. But, you know, maybe it's surprising the announcement that they went with Wagner instead of guys like Tyler Thornburg or Taylor Youngman. But he said that this is not unheard of for him to come up from AA Biloxi. He said plenty of teams, players have done this. And he said over his 200 innings in the minor leagues, they've been really good. So he feels like it gives them the best chance to win.
All right, Sophia, thanks. As we see Gene Segura hustle one into a double.
Wow, how about that right away? Well, Segura has been swinging about well all season. He got a pitch down in the strike zone that time. Double number 5 for Segura. I think it might have been one of those four-seam fastballs that he put in play right there. And the hustle by Segura And the only way you make that double is to think about a double right out of the batter's box, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, speaking of Double-A to the big league, Segura did that when he was a member of the Angels. And we're looking forward to seeing Tyler Wagner on the mound Sunday. I'm sure the nerves are already brewing up. But as they say, stuff plays, and he has great stuff on the mound. And those who have seen him feel like he's the one that deserves the chance. He's pitching well, and he has big league caliber stuff. And
sinker slider guy. Great numbers down in Double-A. The funny thing about him is that Brewers have never had him in spring training, in big league spring training. We haven't seen him.
Never been a part of a major league setting in any capacity, and that's all going to change on Sunday. And they feel like he's a guy, as Sophia mentioned, a guy who can handle that. And you know, you put a lot of stock in your coaching staff as well. Pitching coach Rick Kranitz, Lee Tunnell, the bullpen coach. These are guys that'll be able to work him through whatever he needs to work through to be ready to go on Sunday. Centeno fouls one away. It's 0-2.
Yeah, Brewers could have had him pitch either Sunday or Monday. They elected to pitch him here at home against the Diamondbacks and not have him deal with that Cardinals offense.
Segura out at second. A leadoff double. Centeno strikes out. It's the first strikeout for De La Rosa. One away here in the second inning.
Not a big strikeout guy, although his last time out against the Cubs he had 8 punch outs, only 2 walks. De La Rosa actually pitched 9 innings a couple of starts ago and got a no decision. 2 runs in 9 innings against Miami in a game that the Diamondbacks would win in 13 innings. So he's got good stuff.
Yeah, 94 pitches in those 9 complete innings. Jimmy Nelson batting in the 8th spot for the Brewers. Pitchers have been hitting 8th ever since the beginning of the last road trip in New York. Nelson had never had a hit as a professional until last season in the big leagues, and had 3 hits last year. Has 2 hits this year. He's 2 for 14. I mean, that's a hot streak right there.
Oh yeah, why waste him in the minor leagues?
He's on his a hit per 7 at bats pace.
Yeah.
Again this year, just like he was last year. He was 3 for 21 last year. He's 2 for 14 this season.
And he got to hit his last time out against the Braves. Single to center.
So if the stats and the trends hold together, we may not see one for a few games. Let's hope that's not the case. If nothing else, trying to advance Segura.
How about a walk here?
3-0 pitch is in there for a strike. It's hard for a 6'6" guy to get real small at the plate, but he was trying. And he lost him. De La Rosa walks Jimmy Nelson, the Brewer pitcher. Boy, that's a no-no. And that expression tells it all by Chip Hale. First walk for Jimmy Nelson of his life, of his big league career.
And he looked good doing it. He really did, didn't he?
So it's first and second, 1 out. Here is Sardinas. This is a big day for Luis Sardinas. Not quite as big as the day he got called to the big leagues, but I mean, I think he's certainly looking at the layout, and once Segura was coming back, figured he might have been headed back down, but he swung the bat well, and he gets the opportunity to stay and play second base.
And very comfortable over there, according to him.
You get the feeling, though, don't you, when you ask Louis, what's your favorite position? It's third base. Do you like third base? Oh, it's my favorite. How about shortstop? My favorite.
Just give me 4 at bats. I don't care where you put me.
Just put me in, coach.
Yeah.
22-year-old Venezuelan on the ground. Got a chance to turn 2 here. Sardinas beats it. Runners at the corners with 2 away now. Sardinhas keeps the inning alive.
That's certainly not hit hard enough with Sardinhas hitting left hand. He gets a bit of a head start, able to beat it by a full step, and gives Carlos Gomez a chance with a couple of men on.
Well, the reason the pitcher bats 8th is for this exact scenario for Craig Counsell. He wants men on base with Gomez at the plate. And he's got it set up with 2 on here. Gomez has been great with runners in scoring position this year. He's got a .500 batting average with runners in scoring position. 13 hits. First inning, leading off. Second time this year he has homered to lead off a game. That was a rocket out of here.
Got a change up on a 1-2 count. Let's see if he gets another one of those.
Home run number 5 for Gomez on the season. That's back up the middle, going to be caught. Owings shading towards second base, makes the play to end the inning. The Brewers strand 2. Ballpark with the Joe Nichols concert. Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino, and Slowpoke Rodriguez right there.
That's a good look.
Jimmy Nelson back to work. We're headed to the 3rd.
That's a Sun Smart way to go.
I mean, that was the original Sun Smart.
Yeah, Sun's pretty hot right now.
And the tie's perfect. He's got it cinched up in the double Windsor, cruising with the he's like, you know, this sombrero works perfectly with my outfit. All tied at 1 as we head to the 3rd. Diamondbacks scored in the top of the 1st on an RBI double by David Peralta, and then a home run by Gomez, and that ball's hit deep. Ender Inciarte sends one out of here. A home run for the Diamondbacks to take a 2-1 lead. Just his 2nd home run of the season. And the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter breaks the 1-1 tie.
Yeah, that's the one thing that Jimmy Nelson has been doing a very good job of lately. The last couple of starts has been able to keep the ball in the ballpark. First home run he's given up in 3 starts, and Inciarte hit that one well.
Well, the Prostate Cancer Foundation and Major League Baseball are honoring dads everywhere, and we have a couple of esteemed guests with us. And normally we bring Mark Adanasu up to talk baseball. We're talking big picture here. Michael Milken is here as well, Prostate Cancer Foundation and all the great work, Michael, that you've done to raise an incredible amount of money to support this cause. Tell us a little bit about what's been going on with you lately and what we're set up for this season.
Well, this is our 20th season. Raised $45 million from home runs. And we're kicking the season off here right in Milwaukee. We're going to see every single team play. Our peak is 7 games in 4 days. But we're going to keep a good eye on Fox as we travel around. But this park is so beautiful. Just what a beautiful park.
As Nelson picks up a strikeout, you can go to the web, homerunchallenge.org. Very important site. And Mark, Major League Baseball has been at the forefront of this fundraising opportunity. We've seen the breast cancer research and how that's developed over the years. Prostate cancer research has come along, and the Father's Day connection. I know it's very close to you as well, near and dear to your heart.
My dad was a prostate cancer survivor, and frankly, through back then cutting-edge research that was done at Sloan Kettering. We were with Mike and I with Commissioner Seelig earlier, actually enjoying the Seelig experience. And, Bud 20 years ago really put this in place at Major League Baseball with support from, at that time, Jerry Reinsdorf and Fred Wilpon, owners of the White Sox and Mets. And it's, I believe, by the way, if anybody cures prostate cancer, this group's going to find the cure.
Well, when you think about it today, from projected levels, the death rates dropped by 80%. And the theme of the great American pastime, come out with your dad, your co-worker, get him to be checked. And it has continued for 20 years. I couldn't be happier to be here since I was diagnosed 22 years ago, and the outcome wasn't great. But one of the programs we have, when you go and pledge at homerunchallenge.org, is that you have a chance here to pledge for home runs hit. So now we've created an opportunity not just for the whole country, but if you want to just pledge for Brewers home runs that are hit between June 15th and June 21st, and tonight counts.
By the way, tonight cost us, our privilege, $10,000 when Carlos Gomez led off.
All right, good.
And I believe you all matched that.
We matched it.
So that's $20,000.
So when you give $1, it turns into $2, and then the universities turn it into 2 more.
David Peralta is contributing to the home run challenge from the Diamondbacks side. 2 homers in the inning for the D-backs to make it 3-1. Continue, Michael.
Well, tonight we were rooting for those Brewers home runs.
Brewers, by the way, we are not donating for Diamondbacks home runs tonight, just Milwaukee home runs.
Right.
But I think,
just to be clear,
many people don't recognize that the University of Wisconsin is one of the greatest research centers in the world.
Right.
And we've been supporting it for a long period of time. Actually, both my parents went to the University of Wisconsin.
No kidding.
And tonight, throwing out the first pitch was one of those great researchers at the University of Wisconsin. But I think this is the #1 awareness program to get men to go get checked for prostate cancer, and it has driven a dramatic change. And it was kind of emotional for me thinking about 20 years ago with Bud here launching this program. And Fox and Major League Baseball have done a phenomenal job, and the theme of keeping dad in the game. There's more than 1 million men alive today, hopefully all watching the Brewers broadcast tonight with 2 great announcers.
Ooh, very kind. Nelson deflects right off of him
that
over
are
to first base.
That are alive today that people hadn't predicted would be. Now, neither of you seem to ever age. What happens?
No, we have. We just, makeup, Michael, at what age do you think men should start getting screened, getting tested?
I think, they used to say 50. Today, it's a simple blood test. You get your cholesterol checked. You can get your PSA test. It's an early warning system. The program has improved now. When we started, it cost $3 billion to sequence your DNA. It took 13 years. Now, $1,000 in an hour.
Wow.
And so we've now identified 28 different forms of prostate cancer. So you're not going to treat everyone the same. And by sequencing your genome, a lot of the prostate cancers don't go anywhere. So you might have prostate cancer, but you don't really need to do much because it is not the aggressive kind. Other forms that when you sequence them would be more aggressive, and you have to be more active to do that. And if you go to the PCF.org, ProstateCancerFoundation.org, you can learn all about that. You can learn all about nutrition. We're right here in the center of the world of nutrition here in Milwaukee from that standpoint. But I'll tell you, I had a great honor of having a chance to work with Mark all those years. He's been a fabulous owner. And when you think about, Bud Selig and Mark Antanasio, the Milwaukee Brewers have been in great hands.
Mark, didn't you used to call him boss?
I still do.
No.
He's the only one
who calls you boss.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So I had to break the news to Mark that tonight we have a catcher here that caught the only no-hitter in the history of the Milwaukee Brewers.
And another, this guy, that's me, and I get tested every year. So you've rubbed off on me.
So how come you think the Brewers haven't had a no-hitter since you caught it that night?
Well, they should have in Pittsburgh, but don't get me started on that. CC Sabathia, remember Mark?
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
It's awfully difficult. I mean, you don't see him every day, but, good old Juan Nieves, he did it in Baltimore back in '87.
One thing this exhibit Bud Selig has done is it just reinforces what a large part of the community baseball is and what the Brewers are. And that's why we chose baseball for this program 20 years ago. It's one of the few sports you can go out and talk to your dad, talk to your next door neighbor, talk to your friend, remind them to get checked. It's pretty hard to do that at a hockey game.
Visiting with Michael Milken and Mark Antanasio as Parra grounds out to start this third inning. And again, we're promoting the Home Run Challenge. You can go to homerunchallenge.org to pledge a donation. Every home run hit during the challenge is important, and that's the website right there. Fans can also visit the site, make a one-time donation, or you can sign up to receive more information about prostate cancer and current research. And as this is a national project all through baseball, Mark, the Brewers are all in as usual, not just with this project, but many other projects for general health and wellness, and another strong showing in the community by your group as well. This is a big one coming up here.
So have any of you gone down the slide?
No, we're both afraid of heights.
I actually went up the stairs and I looked over. Have you ever been up there?
Yes, I did, but I didn't sign my release form.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't let Mike go down without the release.
I took the walk of shame. I turned around and I said, I'm not going down there, and I had to go down the stairs. So very shameful period of time.
It was great seeing a number of kids in the ballpark today, which is really our objective. The great American pastime, coming out to the ballpark with your dad and seeing the exhibit with Bud, where he remembered going to the baseball game and fell in love with baseball when his mom took him to a baseball game.
Mark, let me ask you about the Selig experience while we have you. That was a really impressive event last night. I'm sure it hit the wallet pretty tough, but that was it was worth it, and a lot of fun. Some amazing dignitaries here. Just to see Rachel Robinson at Miller Park is such a cool thing. The widow of Jackie Robinson, and Hank Aaron was here last night. And the Selig experience, give us a little idea how that came about and came to be this impressive piece of art, really, is what it is.
And I want to encourage fans, it's free. You have to have a game ticket to get in, and I think there's a reservation process because we have a huge amount of folks who want to see it. But we wanted to really not only pay homage to Commissioner Selig, but also to the fans who really, brought baseball in Milwaukee, kept baseball in Milwaukee, and actually allowed baseball to prosper in Milwaukee. Miller Park would not be here without not only Commissioner Selig, but the support we get from our fan base. So it's really a celebration of Milwaukee baseball. You get through, what did you guys say, 15 or 20 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a surprise special ending to it.
Yeah, we were talking about, we didn't give it away, but
don't
we
give it away.
said be ready for the shock value.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood ending, we'll say that.
I was slightly spooked by that ending as Ryan Braun draws the walk, and a man on here with one out in the third inning. Did you take Michael through the Selig experience?
Commissioner Selig came by today to take Mike through the.
We went through it together, and I think it is emotional, and we just celebrated Memorial Day. We sometimes forget those that have made a sacrifice.
Sure.
That being the ultimate sacrifice for us. And when you think about how important baseball is to Milwaukee and how important Milwaukee is to baseball, you get back and you can see, well, it might not have happened.
Right. Yeah, amazing.
It was amazing to see the video. I mean, you're right. I mean, what Bud went through to get not only the Brewers here in 1970, but to build Miller Park. I mean, it was very close that neither one of those two things would have ever happened.
Well, 16-15 can't get much closer, I think, on that vote.
All right, and Commissioner Selig told us that 16-15 vote came at 5 in the morning.
Oh, man.
And I just thought that's classic, Bud Selig, that he is dogged to the end. He's going to make sure they got that vote. And he got the vote, and we're here today.
It's a whole generation of fans that don't know the story, and I'm curious to hear the stories that the older generation will pass along to the younger generation when some of those memories are evoked. We know you guys have other obligations tonight, so thanks for staying through the break with us. Let's again hit that website. It's homerunchallenge.org. And final thoughts, Michael, on this project and what you're hoping to accomplish this year.
Well, one, I just want to thank Milwaukee Brewers baseball and Fox. When you think of the millions of men that are living normal, healthy lives today, from the money that's been raised from home runs or from the awareness, the #1 period of time that men go get checked in America is right around this and ending on Father's Day this year, June 21st. So thank you. It's great to see you, and it's great to be in the ballpark.
You too, Michael. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Brock.
Great work.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right, we have Adam Lind at the plate with Braun at first base. Brewers now down 3-1. It's a great cause, Rock. Good, they do great work, and glad to give them a platform here. Michael's done tremendous work raising money and research through this foundation.
And hopefully the Brewers are going to hit some home runs tonight.
Braun takes off, a swing and a miss. The ball is loose. Braun wisely stays put. That'll be a stolen base for Ryan Braun.
Pretty good throw by Saltalamacchia right there. Had Owens been able to hold on to it, he might have been out. See, Owens, or I should say Ahmed, he's right behind the bag, and if he catches it, Ryan Braun's an easy out.
He's got to make that play.
Yeah, no kidding.
You can tell he's trying to.
That's a good throw by Saltalamacchia, but Ryan Braun gets the stolen base, so Brewers have a man in scoring position.
Braun is 6 out of 7 in stolen base opportunities. Ball and 2 strikes on Adam Lind. Lind with a base hit. His last time up, he slapped one to the opposite field. And hoping that can spark a hot streak. He's been a streaky hitter. Love to see him put one on the tally board for a home run for prostate cancer research.
And that was what he was doing when he was hot early in the season, hitting the ball to left center and into center field. His first homer came into center field here at Miller Park. Sometimes you start feeling good, you get a little bit pull conscious. You want to hit the home runs.
Lind with 7 this year. He's second on the club. Braun leads the way with 12, and then you got Aramis Ramirez, who is on deck. He has 6. 2-2 the count, 1 away. Diamondbacks with 2 solo homers in the third to take a 3-1 lead. David Peralta's having a night.
Yeah, he's swinging the bat well, isn't he? 2 hits.
And Lind, that ball's hit. Way back it goes, and it's gone! A home run for Lind. 2-run shot. All tied at 3 and right on cue.
Well, and he hit it to left field, right? I mean, staying right on it. Tie it up, and 10 grand to prostate cancer. There you go. Well, that's a nice swing by Adam. He had a nice balance on the follow through, and that ball just jumps off his bat. You gotta love it when the roof's open here at Miller Park. It flies out of here and all tied up. 5 home runs in the game.
HomeRunChallenge.org is the website. As the Brewers add one, Ramirez sends one deep to left. Peralta's on the run at the wall. He makes a catch. Excellent play by Peralta, who's playing deep to start with. Takes an extra base hit away from Ramirez.
Almost home run number 5. There's been 4 in the game, but Ramos just a little bit off the end of the bat. But still gave it a pretty good ride.
Trying to ambush that first pitch. 2 outs now. And here is Segura. Segura had a hustle double his first time up. He is just coming back from a fractured pinky finger on his right hand, his top hand, and his throwing hand. Spent 2 weeks on the disabled list.
He's been doing baseball activities for a long time. I mean, really not affected a whole lot. Was able to throw a couple of days after that injury.
I like what Counsell said too. He goes, I'm glad Segura's upset about going on the DL. He wanted to stay on the active roster. He's fractured that pinky finger a few times in his career and felt like he could have played through it. But I think because he had multiple fractures, the Brewers not wanting to take any chances.
They were concerned about potential surgery if they didn't let it rest.
Segura is a gamer. There's no doubt about that. He wants to play. Plays hard too whenever he's out there. Brewers needed him back. They get their anchor defensively back. Tremendous defender, Segura.
That's some pretty good range up the middle right now with Sardinhas and Gene Segura. Carlos Gomez in center. Strong up the middle, they say.
Boy, I mean. Here's a 1-2. Got him. A strikeout to end the inning. However, when we present the home run challenge tonight with Michael Milken and Mark Atanasio, Adam Lynn delivers. Second homer of the night. Bernie down the slide. We're all tied at 3. We're all even at 3. Our DraftKings players to watch. Parra's on the list, the former D-back. The rookie Tomas. Josh Donaldson of the Blue Jays. Lucas Duda has been hot his last 10 for the Mets. You know, just some random names we pulled out of the hat in case you're playing along with DraftKings. It's a lot of fun. Thanks to Michael Milken and Mark Ananasio. All the great work that the folks at Home Run Challenge are putting together and preparing for the official Home Run Challenge, although these home runs count tonight for the Brewers. 2 of them on the board as Nelson drills Saltalamacchia. So a base runner to start the inning as Nelson gets to the bottom of the order now.
Yeah, tonight's having the game winner, 5 o'clock somewhere in Adams. You know, that's south of Wisconsin Rapids. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. So off courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
Runner on for Chris Owings, Arizona second baseman. When Nelson's right, he'll get a lot of ground balls with that power sinker. And when he puts together the good starts, the deep runs, he usually has a couple of double plays in that mix.
Yeah, that's when he gets on top of that 2-seam fastball, is when he gets the good run. Not only does it run in on a right-handed batter, he gets some sink on it. And that's when he gets those ground ball outs. When he gets on the side of it, it doesn't have much depth to it, and that's when he gets the fly ball outs.
In the air right center, softly hit. That's going to fall. Base hit. Little jam shot for a single for Owings. 2 on, nobody out to start the 4th.
Well, not much you can do about that. Good pitch by Nelson, up and in, jammed him, but Owings able to muscle it into right in front of Brawny.
Well, now Jimmy could really use the double play ball here. Got the pitcher due up next. There's a way out of the inning, but this is a key hitter for Jimmy Nelson. 3-3 game. Diamondbacks with 5 hits now, including 2 homers. Good slider that time. A wave and a miss. Ahmed wasn't close. Balls flying tonight, Rock. It's a warm evening in Milwaukee. I mean, the temperatures are in the low 70s, but there's some humidity and the ball's really traveling.
Looks like it might be blowing out a little bit to left field.
Another one. That one caught the corner. Back-to-back sliders from Nelson. It's 0-2.
Seems like both of these teams really like to ambush that first pitch fastball. So see Jimmy Nelson trying to make an adjustment. There you see the flags. Not that baseballs need a lot of help in this ballpark, but they're getting a little bit tonight to left.
No balls, 2 strikes. Got him. Nelson with a strikeout. Needed that one. Runners have to stay put. Jimmy picks up his 5th K.
Yeah, not the greatest of locations. You see, it really didn't do much. It looked like Ahmed tried to pull it, pulled off of it, and came up empty.
And now the pitcher, De La Rosa, at the plate. He has 1 hit this year and has driven in a run. He's trying to bunt the runners over. A lot of times National League managers are so fearful of a pitcher at the plate bouncing into a double play, they'll just have him bunt the runners to second and third if possible.
And bring up the top of the order with a couple of men in scoring position. Why not?
Especially with a guy like Nelson with a plus fastball that has sink on it. Ramirez is creeping in, as is Lind, and the bunt is foul. See if he squares again. Looks like he will. He does. Oh, look out. Up and in, but he bunted it foul. And it's 1-2 now.
I saw a good shot of that defense when that pitch was coming to home plate. You got the both Ramirez and Lynn crashing, and Segura was heading to third base.
Diamondbacks put their first 2 runners on, a hit batter and a single. De La Rosa squares early this time. 2-strike pitch coming, and he bunts right through it, a strikeout. So back-to-back Ks for Jimmy Nelson. 2 outs now. The defense can relax back to normal depth and back to the top of the order.
5 strikeouts now for Jimmy, 2 in each of the last 2 innings. Check that 6. Actually 2 strikeouts in each of the last 3 innings. And has not walked a batter. That's a good sign for Jimmy Nelson.
Now walks got him in trouble in his last time out against Atlanta. Had 5 walks in that game and 5 2/3. Had a really high pitch count. 108 pitches. Got him into the 6th inning with 2 outs. Inciarte at the plate. Inside, hit him. The second hit batter of the inning.
Held on to a curveball a little bit too long and got him in the leg, apparently.
If it hit him, it just grazed the uniform.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't look like it hit him.
Bases are loaded.
Get the pants?
I can't tell. You know, the way the left leg.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, maybe
it's right leg. I beg your pardon.
Just grazed the right leg, pant leg.
So they are loaded for A.J. Pollock, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Nelson struck him out in the 3rd inning. Ball and a strike. Bases full of Diamondbacks in a 3-3 game. Steve Reich on the corner at 92.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch. You don't have to have big velocity when you put it there. Right on the outside edge.
He's having a great year, Pollock. Able to lay off. Good block by Centeno. Diamondbacks had a couple of really talented center fielders coming up. Adam Eaton and A.J. Pollock, and they traded Eaton to the White Sox, pushing their chips to the middle in center field with Pollock. He's responded well this year. Got some power too. And a wave and a miss. Nelson strikes out the side. Hit 2, gave up a hit. Strands the bases loaded. We're still even at 3.
Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Tied up at 3 between the Brewers and the Diamondbacks here in the 4th. Juan Centeno is getting the start behind the plate leading off this inning, and the Brewers are hoping to get Jonathan Lucroy back at the start of the next road trip. He began his rehab assignment yesterday with the Brevard County Manatees, and Craig Counsell said it was a standard outing for Luke. He went 1 for 3 at the plate, caught about 5 or 6 innings, so he said the plan was for Lucroy to DH tonight, likely catch another handful of innings tomorrow, but really this rehab assignment is for Lucroy to see live pitching, to get 15 to 20 at-bats, and the plan for him is to hopefully join the team on Monday in St. Louis if everything goes well this weekend. And talking to Lucroy on Tuesday before he went out, he said being on the disabled list is terrible. He was so eager to get down there and just get back onto the playing field and get ready back to work, as he said.
Yeah, they need him in a worse way. I mean, one of the keys to this offense, and one of the reasons why the Brewers have been very inconsistent in scoring runs. I mean, Lucroy is a hitter like no other on this ball club. I mean, he shoots the ball around the diamond. He doesn't strike out much, and a guy that always has an ability to get on base.
Juan Centeno strikes out to start the 4th inning. Well, a reminder, tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns D-backs Brewers 3 p.m. Central, and then at 6 Central it's Baseball Night in America on Fox. Royals taking on the Cubs in our region. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Central. You're home for baseball every Saturday. Fox and Fox Sports 1.
Yeah, Brian Anderson, Preston Wilson.
The Sons of Sons. Good to have Preston with us. He's hanging out in the booth. He'll be on the air tomorrow. You'll be kicking back on the boat somewhere.
No, I'll be watching.
Be using the MLB At Bat app.
I don't think so.
2 or 3 things I know for a fact you'll be doing.
Go ahead. Okay.
Cold beer and a boat has your future in it. There's a Nelson ground ball for the 2nd out of the inning.
Is that wrong? The Brewers post-game concert series kicks off tonight with a performance by Joe Nichols. Then the series will continue on Saturday, June 13th, as OAR takes the stage, following the Brewers showdown with the Nationals to perform a free post-game concert. That's courtesy of Pick and Save. Go to Brewers.com for tickets.
Did you notice all the cowboy hats in the ballpark tonight, Rock?
They were late arrivals because I looked around about, 20 minutes before the game? Didn't see many. But as soon as I said that, our director, Mark Vittorio, showed about 1,000 of them. Always has my back, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Sardinias with a swing and a miss. I noticed you got your boots on, your Lucchese boots.
Got some jeans. I left my bolo tie in Arizona.
You think Wisconsin is ready for the bolo tie from Bill Schroeder?
Not yet, but they might be after I wear one.
I feel like it might be time.
I mean, if you can't wear a bolo tie, jeans and cowboy boots to a Joe Nichols concert, when is it appropriate?
See, I think it'd be more appropriate at a Merle Haggard concert, but I think T-shirts and a snapback would be just fine. Or this guy's outfit. Sardinias rolls to Goldschmidt, the Gold Glover. And that will end the inning. Quick inning for Ruby De La Rosa. Head to the 5th, 4 in the books. always great when you can see the moon. The clouds starting to thin out a little bit. Carsoup.com trivia. The former Diamondback, Craig Counsell, who was Craig Counsell's manager when he won his second World Series title.
Yeah, good one.
Scored big runs in both of those 2 World Series titles for the Marlins first and then the Diamondbacks.
He's in the ballpark.
Yes, he is. 6 years as an Arizona Diamondback. Craig Counsell had a couple of tours there. And still a fan favorite in Arizona. He had a home in Arizona for years. And I remember when Craig was a player with the Brewers, and even when we'd go to different games, different venues in spring training, every time they'd announce his name, he'd get a huge ovation from the local Arizona fans that were there, especially when the Brewers played the Diamondbacks. Paul Goldschmidt leads off for Arizona. 2-1 the count. Goldschmidt has a double, a run scored, and a strikeout tonight. Nelson got him in the 3rd inning. Twice an All-Star. He's won a Gold Glove. He's won a Silver Slugger award. Got a broken hand. He was hit by a pitch last August. Knocked him out of the final 2 months of the season. He was putting together a monster year. So he hit 19 homers and 75 RBIs and still had 2 months of games to play and a .300 batting average when he was hitting the hand.
He's played in every game and has not committed an error this year. So he's not just a bat. He can play.
Last year, Adrian Gonzalez won the Gold Glove in the National League at first base. No argument there. Had a great offensive year as well. You think about Adrian Gonzalez and Paul Goldschmidt, Freddie Freeman. There are some very talented two-way first basemen in the league, plus defenders and great hitters and run producers. Goldschmidt is starting to emerge as one who's climbing to the top of the class, though. He is not just the Diamondbacks' best player. He certainly has MVP credentials at some point. Right now, Bryce Harper is setting the pace.
Some kind of year he's having.
3-2 pitch, and Goldschmidt fouls it away.
And the other thing about Goldschmidt that most people don't realize, the fact that he sets a great example for a lot of these young Diamondbacks players. I mean, his work ethic, the way he hustles down the line, and he plays every day, gets there early, last to leave, and it's the kind of guy you want to build your organization around.
The 9th pitch of the at-bat is hammered right center field. Gomez is on the run. This ball is off the top of the wall. The throw to second is late. Goldschmidt in with a double.
And just incredible opposite field power. He didn't even hit that ball all that well. It sounded like he got it down on the trademark or down on the end a little bit. Actually down on the trademark. He didn't hit it on the sweet spot, but still able to drive it off that wall in right center. Just a nice easy swing. Another foot or so. That's a home run. There's incredible bat speed at the point of contact.
He's had 2 doubles tonight. He has 11 for the year to go along with those 12 homers. He just continues to hit at Miller Park. He loves hitting here. Here's Peralta now. He's been a tough out tonight. A double and an RBI in the first, and then his last time up, a no doubter.
Trying to sneak a fastball by him, nothing doing.
That ball had some heat on it as it hit the facing of the Toyota territory. He's 2 for 2. That home run was his 5th. He now has 24 RBIs. Just his second year, second full season in the big leagues. Was a pitcher in the Cardinals organization. 2005 through 2007. Was in the St. Louis system as a pitcher. Made the right choice, turned hitter. Not many go that direction. Nelson looks Goldschmidt back. And there's the first out.
Yeah, that's that Ricky Ankiel, right? Pitcher, position player. You see a lot of guys go the other way.
One out for Yasmani Tomas, our T-Mobile game changer. Most hits since April 15th among Major League rookies. And the two from Cuba at the top of the list. Soler of the Cubs and Tomas of the D-backs. Tomas is leading all National League rookies batting average in the month of May, which covers just about all of his big league plate appearances. Hitting .349 in the month, .345 overall, which is now down to .339. Those are numbers coming into the game tonight. And he hasn't been up there long either time to talk about him. He is a free swinger. Signed a huge contract, multi-year deal out of Cuba, and he is an outfielder by trade. He's playing third base for the time being, but as soon as Arizona gets Lamb back, he's going to go back to the outfield. And another guy with big power. He's only hit one thus far, but the Diamondbacks are counting on him for 20 to 30 homers a year once he gets settled in at the big league level.
Man, he's been pretty good at third base. I mean, he made 5 errors. A lot of those came early when he started playing every day. They like him defensively, and he can hit.
Oh, 2. It's a right slicing foul. Goldschmidt had a leadoff double. He's at second. On deck is Jared Saltalamacchia. Just got a piece. Yasmani Tomas. He did play a little third base in Cuba, but mostly an outfielder. But he had enough experience there where the Diamondbacks felt he'd be a good bet. Kept him in the big leagues, and they're going to have a crowded outfield. Feels like that's been the case with Arizona over the last few years. Gerardo Parra was always part of that crowded outfield. They traded him to the Brewers last year. That skips away from Centeno, and that's a big play. Goldschmidt will go to third, just one out in the inning. And decision time here for Craig Counsell. Do you bring your infield in, play it back? It's 3-3. We're in the 5th.
Yeah, they're going to bring him in,
which will open up some holes.
Well, the way the Brewers offense has been, you want to cut down as many runs as you can.
And a breaking ball to Ramirez. He's going to let the run score, take the sure out.
Boy, what a great jump that Goldschmidt got off of third base. There's no chance for Ramirez going home, I don't think. He took the sure out at first, but the jump by Goldschmidt, outstanding. That ball beat into the ground. He takes off right away. And I think if Ramirez goes home with it, it could have gone either way. Early in the game, you get the sure out.
So Tomas credited with the RBI. The wild pitch hurts Nelson there. And it's 4-3 Arizona. 2 away in the inning. Bases clean for Saltalamacchia. It's hard to figure a night when you look at Nelson's line. 7 strikeouts, no walks. You'd look at that and say, wow, he had great command. That is not the case. Nelson is kind of all over the place. He has 2 hit batters. Number of pitches in the dirt.
Yeah, a bunch of 3-ball counts. Next pitch is number 90.
Put it right by Saltalamacchia. Nelson, when he was first brought to the big leagues a couple of years ago, he said he had a tough time with the baseball. He felt the baseball was much different at the big league level than it was in AAA. And a swing and a miss, another 93-mile-an-hour fastball, 8 strikeout, but the D-backs score and they lead 4-3. Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Diamondbacks lead at 4-3. The Brewers trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Arizona's lost 4 out of 5. And here we go to the bottom of the 5th. Top of the order coming up. Carlos Gomez will lead off. At the plate, presented by Wendy's. A leadoff home run for Gomez in the first inning, his 9th career leadoff homer. And then he hit a soft liner to second base with a couple of men on his next time up. Ruby De La Rosa still working, and a little half swing, able to check it, says the first base umpire. Brewers will wrap up the homestand Sunday against these Diamondbacks. And then hit the road again. Another 3-city road trip. Back-to-back 3-city trips. That's a rough schedule for the Brewers in May, crossing into June. Next up is St. Louis, Minnesota, Pittsburgh. All contending teams. Minnesota's going along 10 games over 500 right
got
now.
Those guys, huh? Paul Molitor got those guys playing pretty good ball.
Twins are 28 and 18. They've had a great run. Twins are a half a game behind the Royals in the American League Central. That could be a 3-team division this year, with the Royals and the Twins and the Tigers. Yankees are leading in the American League East in that division. Astros have a 6-game lead in the American League West.
Yeah.
6 up on the Angels.
Go figure.
How about it?
Lead the big leagues in home runs.
Full count to Gomez. And down he goes on strikes. He got a piece of it, but it ended up in the mid of the catcher for a strikeout.
Looked like ball 4 out of the zone. A breaking pitch. Hey, break out the grills and head to Miller Park this Sunday as the Brewers wrap up their homestand with an afternoon game against these Diamondbacks. All fans in attendance will get a Bud Selig bobblehead courtesy of IBS Dynamon. For tickets, visit Brewers.com today. Well, you better call today. You don't have much time. We got our Bud Selig bobblehead here.
Yes, the second version of the Bud Selig bobblehead. The first one had an unfortunate set of occurrences. But the one you have.
Taking it out of the box, you mean?
The one you have is pristine. The one I have has been defooted. I don't know what happened to it, but I was kind of hoping Mr. Seelig wouldn't see it, but it all looks fine here. But then he.
I think it was somebody who was a little bit rough getting it out of the box. In all honesty, was
Sorry,
that you?
bud.
Was that you?
The excitement was just trying to get out of the box. I see what you mean. There's a shot to third. Tomas will make the play. Anyway, it's unfortunate, but we're going to do a little bobblehead surgery on the Bud Selig bobblehead, and we'll get him back to new in no time.
A little super glue, you're good. You're good with the super glue.
We might be able to. Maybe we should enter this into the Bud Selig experience at some point. I can't wait for the Bill Schroeder experience in a few years.
That'd be interesting.
Adults only. Ryan Braun takes a ball. Powerball home run leaderboard. Braun leads the club with 12. He's tied for 4th in the National League. Bryce Harper has 18 homers. 18 homers already. Feels like he's been hitting them every day recently.
Goodness.
Nationals are in Cincinnati tonight. Reds lead at 5-2 in that game. The guy right behind Bryce Harper in home runs is Todd Frazier, and he's homered tonight. He's got 15. Joey Votto's homered as well. So you got Harper, Frazier, Giancarlo Stanton, and then a group of players with 12 homers, including Braun and Goldschmidt.
Yeah, you're going to see Bryce Harper in the Nationals here at Miller Park in June 11th to the 14th.
That team's going along very well right now. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're in first place in the National League East. They've got a 2-game lead over the Mets. Mets are hanging in there, as are the Braves. Off the end of the bat, falling fast, down, a base hit. Ryan Braun with a 2-out single here in the 5th. And that'll bring up Adam Lind, who has a couple of hits in this game. First time up was an opposite field single. Second time up, our Columbia St. Mary's worth another look. Opposite field 2-run homer.
Oh, what a nice swing. I mean, that's what he's doing early in the season, not trying to pull it. Fastball middle away and drove it on out of here. That's the Adam Lind that we saw early in the season.
Shift is on for the Diamondbacks. 3 infielders on the right side. And that's another one to the opposite field. Got something on it. It slices. It is down. A base hit. Braun around third is going to try to score. The throw. Braun is safe. All tied at 4. Adam Lind with his 3rd hit and his 3rd RBI.
And all 3 have come to left field. Boy, you love to see that. Brewers got a break. That ball rattled around in the corner, stayed in, did not bounce out of play. And Ryan Braun running on contact, able to score. Adam Lind just dropping that one about 3 feet inside that left field line. And Braun right now, he knows he's going to get waved around by Ed Cedar and scores easily.
Two-out single by Braun. 2-out RBI double by Lind. 12 homers, or rather 12 doubles to go along with his 8 home runs now. Here's Ramirez, first ball swinging, fouls it away.
It all started for Lind tonight with that base hit to left that he got off the end of the bat. Home run, now double. 3 RBIs, all coming to the opposite field.
Brewers have never led, but they have answered every run scoring frame for the Diamondbacks today with their own. There's a little liner going to be caught by the shortstop Ahmed, and the inning is over. Adam Lind, it's his night tonight. 3 for 3, all to the opposite field. He's a triple away from the cycle tonight. He's got 3 RBIs, and we're all tied at 4 going to the 6th.
Inning, he is 3 for 3 today, but earlier today, Brewers starter Kyle Loesch toured the Sojourner Family Peace Center and met with members of the staff. The organization is building a new facility that will allow them to expand their footprint, support families more effectively, and also provide state-of-the-art crisis housing for those impacted by domestic violence. Waterstone Bank and BCF are making a donation to the Sojourner Family Peace Center for every strikeout recorded by a Brewers pitcher here at Miller Park during the season. So you can find that total on the strikeout meter here at Miller Park, or they keep tabs on it all season long.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the 6th inning now with Nelson back to work. 4-4 game. Each club with 6 hits. Diamondbacks have stranded 5, the Brewers 4. And every time Arizona has scored, the Brewers have answered with the exact same tally. 1 in the first, 2 in the third, 1 in the 5th. Chris Owings at the plate for Arizona. And a couple notable performances tonight around the big leagues. Chad Bettis of the Rockies, second-year pitcher with Colorado, nearly no-hit the Phillies tonight. Took a no-hitter into the 8th. And went 8 innings of shutout ball, just 2 hits allowed. His best game as a big leaguer. There's a base hit. Owings with his second hit of the night, and a lead man on for Arizona. Back to our Carsuit.com trivia question. Who was Craig Counsell's manager when he won the second World Series title? His first came as a Marlin, second as a Diamondback, and there he is.
Here's BB.
Bob Brenly, who does analysis on Diamondbacks television with Steve Berthiaume. Managed that club in 01 to a World Series, still wears that ring proudly. Longtime Cub announcer as well, working with Len Casper and then moving back to Arizona.
Pretty good catcher back in his day.
We just call him Grandpa now.
Yeah.
Grandpa Brindley.
Does a very good job of Bob Brenly of simplifying the game. Doesn't get too complicated. And breaks the game down very nice. He does some network stuff in the postseason. Yeah, Robin Young was his bench coach, right?
That's right. He's got a son playing in the Cubs organization, Bob does. Michael. He's a big catcher, first baseman. Look out, up and in. Nelson has already hit 2 tonight.
And 97 pitches. The Brewers have activity in their bullpen.
That's Corey Knebel loosening under the watchful eye of Lee Tunnell. I think Bob's son's with Boston now, by the way. Just so he didn't go over there and say.
Well, he was with the Cubs.
Son's still with the Cubs?
Yeah, he was there last year, right?
Runner goes, pitches a strike, throw to second is into center field, and Owings is on his feet and will go to third. Stolen base and an error on Centeno. First error of the night. And again, the Diamondbacks get a runner to third base.
And there's a wild pitch that got Goldschmidt to third last inning, and now a stolen base and an error, and another man at third base with nobody out. Can't be giving away bases.
A wild pitch put a runner at third with 1 out last inning, and that run scored on a ground out. So the infield is in. Fly ball, right field. Braun's got a great arm. Owings can run. This should be fun. Braun catches. Owings stops. And a good peg by Braun. It was on line enough for Owings to hold up.
Well, very accurate over there in right field, Ryan Braun. He gets rid of it like an infielder. Why not? He was an infielder. And he surrounds it. He gets his momentum going toward home plate, and one hop into Centeno. Owings thought better of it.
Well, maybe if the pitcher is coming up, you send him there, but looks like the Diamondbacks already had it in mind. Andy Green, the third base coach, knowing that Chip Hale was going to go to his bench here anyway. So here comes Mark Trumbo and Rick Kranitz. The Brewer pitching coach is out to talk to Nelson, give him a little scouting report here of the pinch hitter.
This is something that Kranitz does just about every time a pinch hitter is sent to the plate. Just to refresh both Centeno and the pitcher about tendencies for Trumbo, how to attack him.
A game that is tied at 4. Closes the book on Ruby De La Rosa. 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Had a couple of walks and 4 strikeouts tonight. De La Rosa still has a chance to win this game if the Diamondbacks take the lead and then hang on. Nelson trying to get through it. Still tied at 4. So De La Rosa's done. The pinch hitter Trumbo, former Angel. Second year with the Diamondbacks, and he's lashing away at the first pitch. Trumbo's name has been circling in the trade mill here recently. Diamondbacks are hopeful to get Jake Lamb, their third baseman, back shortly, which is going to move Tomas back to the outfield.
Big power for Trumbo.
Angels thought it was going to be Trout and Trumbo for years with the Angels. He had a 100 RBI season with the Angels in 2013. Made an all-star team back in 12. And his first year was 2011. Finished second in the Rookie of the Year voting that year. There's a little liner caught by Sardinhas. Throw to third. Ramirez somehow keeps it in front and an out.
Wow.
How about that?
I think they're going to maybe take a look at that one in the clubhouse. Well, that was a heck of a play by Ramirez. Look at a short hop. Sardinhas trying to get the double play. He spikes it in front of Ramirez.
Wow, I tell you, that's close.
That's a heck of a play by Aramis.
It was one thing just to keep the ball in front, but to have a chance at an out, and they are going to review this.
Well, looks like pretty close, but the call in the field is out.
Is there enough clear and convincing evidence to overturn it? And Chip Hale thinks so, and he's asking the umpires to go to review. So the crew chief, Jerry Lane, will get on the headsets back to Chelsea, New York, the replay command center.
I guess why not? If it's close enough, you get a safe call, you get a reversal here, you get the top of the order coming up.
Jerry joined by the calling umpire there, Hunter Wendelstedt. He's on the right.
But what a play by Ramirez, though. I mean, that was a tough hop, one of those in-between hops. Not only is he able to keep it in front of him, he keeps it in the glove, and I tell you, that's about as close as it gets. And we're showing it on the scoreboard. And
now the Brewers players and fans here are convinced that is an out. They're already starting to head to the dugout.
Yeah, the angle that they're showing on the scoreboard, though, does not show you where the hand is of Owings when Ramirez finally gets that ball in the glove.
Yeah, so if you stitch them together, which our guys in the truck have done, our guys and girls, great work. Man, it's just so hard to tell if the hand's on the bag or not. Those two are synced up there, the ball and the glove. So it really boils down to, is there enough evidence to overturn it? And we'll see. Hold up, sausages. Get back.
In the meantime, they have to go back into wherever they are.
And let's do it with a little hustle. The Brat, as usual, is being defiant.
They're fired up, too.
How many years have you been saying that, Rob? Well, here's a decision coming. Out. So not enough there to overturn it. And the inning is over. Call stands. Still tied at 4. Here they come. You're ready to run. The second ends up as a double play. Went to review. It was confirmed, which means they saw it exactly as the umpires did. Jimmy John's delivery of the game. This was a great play by Aramis Ramirez. Man.
The other thing, did he take his foot off the bag when he first got the ball in his glove? You know, he hopped up a little bit. A lot to be looking at right there, but they confirmed the call, not just said the call stands. They confirmed that it was actual out.
New pitcher for Arizona's Daniel Hudson, facing Gene Segura. Tied at 4, bottom of the 6th. Segura swinging away at the first pitch, and Ahmed will take care of him for out number 1.
Yeah, Hudson last pitched against the Cardinals on May 26th. He pitched a scoreless inning. Numbers overall for Hudson, 16th appearance, and then earned run average of about 4.5. Hudson can get it up there, mid-90s, and he's got a change-up as well. Change-up a popular pitch in his Diamondbacks pitching staff.
Should be.
Yeah.
It's a great pitch. I wish
easy on the arm.
more taught it. And if you're a young pitcher out there playing youth baseball, forget the breaking balls, forget the spinners, perfect the changeup first. Fastball changeup combo. You'll be striking out every kid in the neighborhood.
Right.
Promise.
Yeah, those sliders and curve balls are awfully tough on an arm that's not yet developed. Kid's not old enough, shouldn't throw them. Orthopedic surgeons love you to throw them, though.
Yeah, keeps him in business, keeps him flourishing. Broken bat, Centeno. Pop up, caught by Ahmed, 2 outs in the inning.
Bats never used to do that.
You mean break?
What's it been, 10 years now that they've been using those maple bats?
Yep.
And I mean, they would crack. They would very rarely, if ever, like break in half. And you would never see a bat do that.
Just completely fall apart.
Right. Just blow up.
Hector Gomez announced as a pinch hitter. That was a pitching coach, Mike Harkey, you saw running to the mound. So that'll do it for Jimmy Nelson. He kind of grinded his way through this one. 6 innings, 4 runs. And it's one of those games, you know, he struck out 8. He did not walk a batter, but probably wouldn't tell you he had very good command tonight, which is actually a good sign for a guy like Jimmy Nelson, that he can keep his team in a game when he didn't have his A stuff. Credit the offense, specifically Adam Lind. And the way this game is going is kind of how the Brewers are built. A team that can score some runs and hit homers. And if you're a pitcher and can keep a team under 5 runs, you got a chance. At least that was the intent. Hasn't exactly worked that way.
No, it took them a while to start hitting homers. But, you know, home run, or teams that are built with home runs can go into droughts. And you can't rely on the home run all the time. There's got to be other ways to, manufacture runs, like the Diamondbacks have done a couple of times tonight.
Strike 2 to Hector Gomez.
Hitting those big 2-out hits. Men in scoring position.
Back up the middle, a base hit for Gomez. 2-strike hitting, a success for Gomez.
Got one out over the plate at 96 miles an hour. It's pretty good fastball by Hudson, but Gomez able to turn it around. Can't throw it too hard for him.
2 outs, 2 strikes, count in his favor, and Hector reaches, sets up Luis Sardinas, who is 0 for 2.
And definitely a running opportunity right here for Hector if he can get a jump.
It would be his first. It's been a long road back for Daniel Hudson. 2 Tommy John surgeries. Finally made it back last year. Pitched in just 9 games in 2012. Remember, he was a starter for the Diamondbacks. Had a terrific year in 11. Sardinas left center field. Peralta has it, and the inning is over. Still tied at 4. We have 6 in the books at Miller Park on a Friday night. After the game, a lot of folks ready for that. Here's our AT&T U-verse rewind. Seen some home run balls tonight. Carlos Gomez in the first inning, his 5th of the season. And then the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter, Ender Inciarte, went deep. Later in that inning, David Peralta hit a missile out of here. He's got 2 ribbies tonight. But Adam Lind, a 2-run home run in the 3rd, answered a 2-run top of the 3rd. Each club scored single runs in the 5th. And we sit all tied at 4. As we head to the 7th, neither starter will factor in the decision. And Jeremy Jeffress will be on the mound for the Brewers, first out of the bullpen.
Yeah, 26th appearance. Now 26 appearances leads the National League in appearances out of the bullpen. So Jeffress has had a lot of work, but has not pitched since Monday. I think Craig Counsell and Rick Kranitz wanted to give him a little bit of a rest. Get that arm going again. Had a rough outing on Monday against the Giants. Gave up 3 hits and did not retire a batter.
He'll have the top of the Arizona order coming up. Ender Inciarte will start it, followed by Pollock and then Goldschmidt. Yeah, you could see the decline in the Jeffress fastball with each day that he was pitching, and fatigue was a major factor, you would think, in that last day that he pitched. Counsell just trying to squeeze one more day out of Jeffress and Will Smith. But he's got his fastball in the mid-90s again today.
Yeah, just needed some time just to get that arm back, get the velocity back. He was losing his movement as well.
He had pitched Thursday too prior to that, 3 out of 4 days, and a lot of pitches during that stretch. Swinging a foul back at 96, and it goes to 1-2.
And the big fastball, the good curveball. Been very effective for the Brewers, except for that last appearance.
Jeffress wants to start over with the signs. Got the one he wants. Ball and 2 strikes. Ground ball to Sardinas. And out number 1.
Well, from birthday parties to company outings and everything in between, Miller Park is the perfect spot for your group this summer. To start planning your Brewers group outing for as little as $9 per ticket, go to brewers.com/groups.
A.J. Pollock now with 1 away. Pollock is a good hitter that the Brewers have quieted down. Jimmy Nelson struck him out twice. He's 0 for 3. Nelson finished with 8 punch-outs tonight. Quickly 0-2 on Pollock.
And Nelson very effective against Pollock with the breaking pitch, the slider.
Nelson has had an 11 strikeout game this year. Did that against the Cubs. In his first game of the year, he struck out 9 against Pittsburgh. So he's capable. Jeffress falls down. And that does not look good. Jeffress, hopefully he just spun out. See if we can pick something up here. Yeah, his foot just slipped.
Yeah, it slipped. That left foot, a landing foot, slipped as he tried to deliver the baseball.
Man, it really put some force on that lead leg, that plant leg. Snap that knee down. No visit from the medical team, though. And a 1-2 count, make it 2-2 now.
Well, you know what Dan Wright and his guys are saying? No, please, not another injury.
Not another. That has been a busy room down there, the athletic training room for the Brewers in the clubhouse. Too many injuries. Tough to get any continuity, especially to key players, starters, all-stars. As Sophia reported, the Brewers are hopeful to get Lucroy back Monday. He's playing down in the minor leagues right now on a minor league rehab assignment. DHing tonight, probably will catch tomorrow. And Jeffress lost him. So Pollock is aboard with Goldschmidt coming up.
Pollock was having a difficult time catching up to that Jeffress fastball, but just couldn't find the plate with it. Couldn't put him away.
You can always tell when the tough decisions are coming for Craig Counsell. The hat comes off and the head scratching begins.
They got a left-hander on deck. Peralta's having a pretty good night.
Ooh, Goldschmidt with a big hack on a big fastball.
He's not afraid to go first pitch, is he? Ambush that fastball. Has a number of first pitch home runs this year.
6 of them. 6 of his 12 homers have come on the first pitch. And he is 11 for 20 on first pitch balls in play.
That's the way it should be, right?
Get one you like, let it fly.
Nothing wrong with swinging at the first pitch.
Ryan Braun's on that list too. He's got 7 first pitch home runs.
You can be very selective up there on the first pitch. It's not exactly where you want it, take it. But if it's right where you want it, why take it? Who says you have to see 4 or 5 pitches?
Dangerous hitter at the plate. 1 man out, runner at first, and a swing and a miss. That fastball was buried down and away, and Goldschmidt couldn't get to it.
Good movement going down.
The new Jeffress. His first time around with the Brewers, he threw straight over the top and could hit 100 miles an hour, but it was a straight fastball. Dropped down 3/4 and changed everything for him.
He's got good movement. He still gets it up there in the upper 90s. It's kind of unusual, and we talk about it a lot with Jeremy. The fact that you get a little bit of movement. A lot of times you lose velocity, but he didn't really lose a whole lot.
One ball, 2 strikes. Brewers are looking for a ground ball here. Goldschmidt takes. Count evens at 2-2. Goldschmidt's only bounced into 2 double plays this season. In the air, right center, got some carry. Gomez at the track makes the call and the catch. Pollock tags, and the throw is wide, and the speedy Pollock will take second base. So a long, loud out by Goldschmidt. Second out of the inning with a runner at second now. Full lineup of Brewers baseball for you on Fox Sports Wisconsin and Fox Sports 1. Don't forget, tune in tomorrow. FS1 for game 2 of this matchup. Starts at 3 p.m. and then the series wraps up Sunday back here on Fox Sports Wisconsin at 12:30 p.m. And then the Brewers will hit the road again. David Peralta with 2 away. 2 for 3, 2 RBIs. Had a double and an RBI with 2 outs in the first. Had a 2-out home run in third, and Counsell not wasting any time with Peralta, a hot hitter. He's going to put him on.
Yeah, good idea. You don't have to burn Will Smith. You can use him later. You don't bring him in for the left-handed batter. Just put him on and go after the next guy. Next guy right-handed, Tomas. Not many options, for the Diamondbacks off the bench. Cliff Pennington, a switch hitter. Aaron Hill, a Brewer killer. He's on the bench. And Jordan Pacheco.
Chip Hale's playing with a short bench as well, just a 4-man bench. Has 8 in his bullpen. All right, so the stage is set here in the 7th. 4-4 game, 2 outs. And the rookie Yasmani Tomas, who is 0 for 3, did get an RBI out of his at-bat in the 5th inning with a ground out with a runner at third. Big spot for Jeffress. Tomas sitting on an 11-game hit streak right now. There's a strike from Jeffress. Ball and a strike to count. He's got big numbers during the streak as well. Prior to tonight, during this 11-gamer, he's hitting .420. Breaking ball. He buckled his knees. 1-2 the count.
Yeah, first time he's been able to throw that for a called strike. And that's the old equalizer right there for Jeremy Jeffress.
Two on, 2 out. 1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. He went with a breaking ball. Couple of walks in the inning. One intentional. The strikeout keeps it at 4-4. Carlos Gomez will start it. When we come back, we head to the bottom of the 7th. All even at 4 apiece. He's up for the rally here in the home 7th. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Here's the setup tomorrow. Jeremy Hellickson, former Rookie of the Year. He is on the mound against Kyle Lohse tomorrow. And we're on Fox Sports 1 tomorrow, not Fox Sports Wisconsin. The national game tomorrow. 3:10 is first pitch. We'll hit the air about 3 o'clock. Gomez to start the bottom of the 7th. Carlos had a leadoff home run in the first. He's 1 for 3 tonight. Struck out his last time up. 5 homers, 19 RBIs for Gomez, hitting primarily out of the leadoff position. seen a little time in the cleanup spot this year, and in Atlanta he hit third on a day Ryan Braun had off. Gomez with 3 games in the cleanup spot, but Counsell likes him leading off. That ball's hit hard to center, but right at Pollock.
Yeah, right off the end. A slider from Hudson and had Gomez on the end of the bat.
1 away. And Gomez upset. So the former Diamondback now, Gerardo Parra, traded to the Brewers last year. Had some good years with Arizona. His 2 Gold Gloves were as a member of the Diamondbacks. That ball's hit hard, and that's down, a base hit. Into the gap over there to cut it off is Inciarte. That'll hold Parra to a single. His first hit of the night.
That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball in the first pitch. And both of these teams, they have hitters that are not afraid to go after that first pitch, and why not? You got pretty good speed on the bases, and your RBI guys coming up.
Ryan Braun on twice tonight, a walk and a single, couple of runs scored. He has a stolen base. He scored from first on a double. He's had a good night. He's been back to his old self here after the first few weeks of April. Really, April 28th is when he started to find it a little bit. And he's put up big numbers since that time.
Well, he's been able to stay back. I mean, that hand is healthy, the thumb feeling good, and back to the Ryan Braun of the old days. Quick to the baseball, not swinging out of the zone too much.
Check on Parra. Daniel Hudson. 2 Tommy John surgeries, ligament replacement. They must have put a hot ligament in that elbow. He is bringing it.
He's got 97 on Braun a couple of times here.
Inside, almost hit him. Hudson was going along well for the Diamondbacks after being traded by the White Sox to Arizona in 2010. That 2011 year, that was the year the Brewers played the D-backs in the NLDS. He was a 16-game winner that year. There goes Parra. Braun swings and a base hit, and Parra keeps on trucking. All the way to third he goes. Ryan Braun with his second hit. First and third with 1 out.
Yeah, one of the best pitches to run on, 2-1. You figure pitcher wanted to throw a strike. It was a slider that didn't do anything. Actually, he just spun up there, and Brawny hits it hard into the hole. Right in front of Parra. He saw it all the way and gets into third base.
And that is going to be the end of the night for Hudson. Chip Hale will take the ball from his reliever. Back to the bullpen he goes. Brewers have Lynn coming up. The left-hander coming in will set him up. out. He's put in motion. Braun with a base hit. First and third now, and with Adam Lind, the scheduled hitter. Chris Davis has moved on deck once the left-handed pitcher Oliver Perez was introduced. So Counsell counters and will play matchup himself.
And Chris Davis has been swinging the bat very well. Oliver Perez, the veteran left-hander, he's had very good success against lefties, which is why he came in. But Counsell going to Davis. Well, we'll see what happens. A 6.17 earned run average. Perez pitched on Wednesday through a scoreless inning against the Cardinals.
The numbers for Chris Davis, a Phoenix area native. Has 5 home runs this season. Adam Lind was 3 for 3 tonight with 4 runs. I make it 3 runs batted in. 4-4 game here in the 7th. Brewers with a golden opportunity. And Perez almost throws that one to the screen. I'm not sure what that was.
Something off speed that didn't go where he wanted it. You know, Perez 133 against lefties. 440 right-handers are getting it.
Wow. And Davis, as a pinch hitter, is 1 for 3. Hasn't done it often, but his 1 was a home run. First and third, down and in. Perez has reinvented himself since coming back as a reliever. He was a starter with the Mets. Came back with the Mariners. He's done a nice job out of the bullpen until this season. Last year he was great for the Diamondbacks. A 2.91 ERA last year. Pitched a bunch, 68 games. Go ahead and run at third. Davis with a mighty hack.
Another one, another breaking pitch. And all breaking pitches to Davis here.
Two and one now. Native of Mexico, the 33-year-old Perez. Culiacan is his hometown. 2-1. 2-2. Davis trying to get a run home. Anything in the air will do. Medium deep with power speed at third base. He's not a blazer, but he runs well.
Diamondbacks think DeBron might try and steal a base. He's already got one tonight.
It's not a bad idea. 2-2 the count. Perez throws a lot of breaking balls. Those are his out pitches. Be a good pitch to run on. And there's a breaking ball down and in. Braun stayed put. Braun was actually going back to the bag at first. Perez kind of fooled him with that move.
Yeah, which is maybe why he might not be running here. The one-way lead back to first.
3-2 the count. And good take. Davis able to check his swing. He draws the walk. Terrific at bat by Chris Davis. The bases are loaded now with 1 out.
Well, Davis only got 1 fastball in that whole sequence. There's a breaking ball that did nothing. There's one down and in. Here comes a fastball on the 2-1 pitch right here. That's the one that Davis would like to have back. I mean, he got a fastball right down the middle. Then the breaking ball started to come. On the 3-2 pitch, he's able to draw a walk. That's good patience by Davis.
And that'll be the end of the night for Perez. He's out. Another pitching change for Chip Hale. The bases are loaded for the Brew Crew. Aramis Ramirez at the plate. Got Segura on deck, just one out in the inning, and Chip Hale's going to go to Addison Reed in the 7th inning.
Yep, their closer last year, 32 saves for Reed a year ago. You see his numbers overall been scuffing a little bit, 5.5 ERA.
And Ramirez takes a first pitch breaking ball from Reed. Aramis Ramirez has 10 career grand slams. Had one for the Brewers back in 2012. That actually was his last grand slam. It's been a grand slam drought, but he's got 10 of them.
He's due, right? Reed started him off with a slider. He's got a low 90s fastball and a changeup to go with that slider.
They are loaded. Parra, Braun, Davis on the bags. And Ramirez pops this one up, and that's going to stay playable for Goldschmidt. And a huge out for Addison Reed. Wow, second out of the inning.
Do another breaking ball, and Ramirez way out in front. That's a killer right there, especially on the 1-0 pitch.
So Reed with 2 outs now to face Gene Segura, just coming back off the disabled list. He is an early count swinger himself. Just a couple of years ago, Addison Reed had 40 saves for the White Sox. Segura was late. At the time, the Diamondbacks thought they had made a deal for a closer for a long time. It hadn't been the case, though. It was an off-season deal with the White Sox for Matt Davidson to get a closer in place. Brewers need a big hit. This game has been tied since the 5th. We are in the bottom of the 7th. Reed, the third pitcher of the inning. Segura takes a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tough enough to hit big league pitching, especially when you've been out for 2 weeks. Segura did have a double his first time up, a hustle double. Bases loaded. Here's a 1-2. Segura stays alive.
Outfield very shallow in center and right for Segura. And he likes to go in that direction. He's got a little pop out there. Gaps are open, especially in right field and down the left field line.
Do it again. Another 1-2. Segura strikes out. Inning over. Bases loaded. 1 out. The Brewers come up empty. Still tied at 4. We go to the 8th. The bases loaded and 1 out. Jason Rogers will enter the game at first base. Davis hit for Adam Lind. So it's a 2-for-1 for Craig Counsell, and he's got Jonathan Broxton on the mound in this 8th inning in a 4-4 game.
Yeah, Jonathan has been scuffing. He needs a good outing. And earned run average over 7. And Broxton last pitched on Wednesday against the Giants and tossed a 3-up, 3-down inning that included 2 strikeouts. So he's back on the road to recovery and getting back to doing what Jonathan Broxton normally does. More strikeouts and innings pitched for Broxton.
He has the bottom of the order coming up. Saltalamacchia is the 6-hole hitter. He'll lead off. His first day as a Diamondback. Jared Saltalamacchia, promoted from AAA Reno after being released by the Marlins. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Couple of strikeouts. He was also hit by a pitch. Jimmy Nelson started. He went 6 innings with 7 hits and 4 runs. Didn't walk a batter and struck out 8. Ruby De La Rosa, the starter for the Diamondbacks, went 5, giving up 4 earned runs as well. Chip Hale had to use 3 pitchers to get through that 7th, and all kind of traffic behind those pitchers. But Addison Reed was able to get through it. The key at bat was the Aramis Ramirez foul pop with 1 out.
Yeah, had to count in his favor and was fooled on a breaking pitch.
Ball and a strike. 1-2 the count. Evens up at 2-2. Broxton's had much better velocity this year compared to last, but he's had some rough outings.
Well, it's a matter of him being able to throw the slider for strikes. Get it close. That pitch right there. If he's able to throw that, then that big 95 to 97 fastball becomes a good pitch for him. Sometimes he uses it, sometimes he doesn't.
Another 2-2 on the way from Broxton. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. There's the good slider.
Yeah.
Down and in. Saltalamacchia strikes out for the 3rd time.
Well, you throw 95 to 97, you drop that baby on you right there. That's a nice pitch down in the dirt with 2 strikes right where you want it. And a good job this time by Centeno to keep it close.
Ton of strikeouts tonight for Brewer pitchers. 10 of them. Here's Chris Owings. 2 hits tonight, 2 for 3. Had a couple of singles. 1 to right center in the 4th, and then he pulled 1 to left in the 6th inning. Ended up stealing a base in that inning. And was part of a pivotal play for the Diamondbacks. Owings was at 3rd base with just 1 out, and the pinch hitter Trumbo hit a line drive to 2nd. Owings couldn't get back. An inning-ending double play. He went 2-1, chased 1. right by him.
That's just good location right there in the corner.
It's a great point you're just making.
Yeah.
That's at 93, but it's perfectly spotted. As opposed to, he can hit 95, 96. We even saw him hit 98 in Detroit.
And the thought of the slider. I mean, Owens is on that on-deck circuit. And he saw those sliders that Broxton threw to Saltalamacchia. In the back of his mind, he's thinking, I might get one of these soon. That's an element of doubt. You don't have to be a lot. Just slow that bat down a little bit.
Broxton can hit the outside corner to a right-handed batter with a fastball. It changes everything. It allows him to pitch with that slider more effectively. That one hung up there, and fastball fouled away. Pitchers are always looking for the complementary pitch. And for Broxton, it's the fastball and the slider that you're hoping to a hitter looks the same. And oh, that didn't miss by much. Wow.
Could have been called.
Close pitch. Owings figured he couldn't hit it. He'll just take it, which is smart.
Yeah. Hey, good chance it's going to be called a ball.
The days of swinging anything close are over.
Let's take anything close.
3-2. That hangs a little, but Owings gets under it. Broxton got away with one there.
Yeah, you're talking about complementary pitches. The longer you're expected to pitch, the more complementary pitches you need. And if you're expected to come in the 8th inning and get through the lineup, maybe 4 or 5 hitters. You only need 2. Broxton's got the fastball and the slider. You're a starter, you need 3 minimum. Unless you're Greg Maddux.
Nick Ahmed with 2 outs. And you're always talking about, pitching in quadrants. And that's really what it boils down to for Broxton when he's had success. If you stop the baseball halfway to home plate, whether it be a fastball or slider, it's in the same general area, and the hitter has no chance at that point.
Right.
But he's been hanging a lot of those sliders. And those are the ones that get hit in his poor outings. And then he's given up a bunch of runs in individual outings, so it's going to take him a long time to trim down that ERA. As a reliever, you're not getting a lot of innings to do that.
Well, you can't dwell on that. You can't dwell on a number. You just got to look forward and have good outings.
And the Brewers need him to string a bunch of good outings together. Brewers are trying to snap a 5-game losing streak. Dropped 2 in Atlanta, then lost 3 against the Giants. First of 3 tonight against the D-backs. Brewers will have the bottom of their order coming up in the home 8th. We're tied at 4, 2 outs. Hitters count for Ahmed. And he swings and lifts one in the air to left center field. Gomez and Parr look up. There she goes. A home run. Diamondbacks lead. Nick Ahmed batting 8th in the Diamondbacks lineup. His 3rd homer of the season. And it's 5-4 Arizona.
Well, sitting on the fastball, he was up in the count 3-1. Broxton gave him a fastball at 95. Look at the location right down the middle. About belt high, and Ahmed able to knock it out of here. Didn't have to worry about the slider on a 3-1 count. Got the fastball, he's going for it. And if he didn't, he was going to take it.
Not known as a home run hitter. Well, and with that home run, Chip Hale is going to leave his reliever in the game Addison Reed to bat here, trying to get another inning or at least a few batters out of Reed. It was very effective. The Brewers had the bases loaded with 1 out, could not score. The Diamondbacks have them empty with 2 outs and get a home run from their shortstop. How it can turn.
Yeah.
Now the book tonight, every time Arizona has scored, the Brewers have answered. They're going to need to do the same tonight if they're going to win this one. Reed rolls to Sardinas, and the side is retired, but Broxton's woes continue. The Brewers are now down a run as we head to the bottom of the 8th.
But that happens with 2 outs in the top of the 8th and gives Arizona a 5-4 lead. Time starting to run out on Milwaukee. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame. Long balls determine a lot of fate and a lot of scoring so far in this game. But we take a look at Milwaukee's home runs in this one. One coming early with Gomez and Lind. Our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. The home run plays a big role in this Brewer offense. And, you know, every time in tonight's ball game when the D-backs have scored, the Brewers have answered. We'll have to see what happens coming up in the 8th.
Yeah, the Brewers have not had the lead yet in this game. Every time they tie it up, the D-backs seem to answer as well. So they're up right now, and the Brewers going to bat. Again, we've got Brewers Line postgame on the way. We'll hear from Craig Counsell and the rest of the crew. Brian?
All right, Craig and Augie, thanks. Here is Juan Centeno to lead off for the Brew Crew. 5-4 Arizona. Addison Reed back on the mound. Each club has stranded the bases loaded tonight. Diamondbacks left them loaded in the 4th. Brewers left them loaded last inning. Brewers have out hit Arizona 9-8. But the Diamondbacks playing long ball tonight. 3 home runs in Ciarte, Peralta, and Ahmed just a moment ago. Juan Centeno at the plate. Little chopper over to third base. Tomas will make the play for the out. 1 away. Addison Reed's come on and done a job. He got the final 2 outs. Ramirez and Segura with the bases loaded. 3 in a row retired. He'll face Jason Rogers, who just entered the game to play first base.
That's a good movement on his fastball. The slider, the changeup. Got in on the hands of Centeno that time and got the ground out.
First at bat for Rogers. Ball and a strike on Jason. He's been pinch hitting quite a bit. This is his 28th game played. He has made just 7 starts. And pops this one up. Looks like it's headed for the seats and just deep enough to buy Rogers another pitch. Debbie Atanasio in there making a play.
Making it tough on Salta Lamacchia. Well done.
Look at her. She actually showed some range right there.
Did it get her?
Let's see. Oh yeah, she showed range. Look at her. She's attacking that baseball. Oh, should be all right. That's a very familiar look that Rock has when we have foul balls near the booth. It's kind of a aggressive
bailout. You mean
bailout? How's a bailout?
Now, why would you say that?
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm just saying that the only thought I had in my mind when I saw that was just felt very similar.
Is that right?
You're a former big league catcher. You hang right in there.
No, I'm not going to catch him barehanded, though.
No. See, you're too smart for that.
Smarter than that. I got a glove up here.
You just slightly move out of the way. Subtly.
Back off.
You ever been hit by a foul ball in the booth?
Yes, in Detroit, back in the old ballpark.
Oh, in Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
The catbird seat.
It was a foul tip right back. I mean, you remember how low it was at Tiger Stadium?
Yeah.
Hit me right in the chest. I was watching the monitor.
Rogers down the line. They had him guarded that way. Tomas, and the throw gets away. Rogers falls down.
Made the turn, had to get back.
And that might have been a good thing, actually. Rogers could have been a dead duck at second. Tomas made a great play to get it in his glove, but the throw was a poor throw, and the Brewers have a base runner.
Nice job by Owings. I mean, backing up. I mean, that's what a second baseman does on a play like that, particularly with the angle that the third baseman's throwing it. Owings able to get over there. That's the old Jim Gantner play right there, backing up the first baseman. And saved a base for his team.
Well, the Brewers will take base runners any way they can get them right now. So that'll be a base hit for Rogers. Infield single. Sardinas with 1 out. Luis tonight is 0 for 3. Getting his first start as a second baseman for the Brewers. Played a little second, short, and third base last year for the Rangers.
Nice to get another base runner for the top of this Brewers order. See if we can get some runs going here. Not very good speed at first.
Gomez on deck. Sardinas, little cue shot back up the middle. They'll go to second out there. Sardinas safe. Ahmed hung in there as long as he could. He gets the lead out. 2 outs now. Sardinas replaces Rogers, and here we go back to the top of the order in Gomez. Brewers are down a run. Diamondbacks just scored in the top of the inning on an Ahmed 2-out homer. I beg your pardon, his third homer. It was with 2 outs and nobody on. Gomez represents the go-ahead run. Brewers would love nothing more than to see Gomez hit one in the seats and then bring on Francisco Rodriguez to try to save it and snap a 5-game losing streak.
Don't think you're going to see Sardinias take off here. Stay at first, see if Gomez can get a hold of one. And maybe with 2 strikes, they might force the issue. We'll see.
It's probably been the most noticeable difference between Ron Renicky and Craig Counsell. Counsell is content to play station to station for the most part. Only Gomez and Segura have the green lights. No balls and a strike. Gomez takes down and away. Addison Reed's only given up 1 home run this year. Back-to-back scoreless outings did Reed against the Cubs and the Cardinals. And it's kind of been hit or miss for Arizona this season. He had 1 outing where he gave up 4 earned runs against Washington. That's why his ERA is so high. Comes in with an ERA at 5.5. Two balls and a strike. Gomez looking for a mistake. In there. I think he surprised him with a fastball. That was knocked down the heart. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Gomez now.
Looks like a guy that can be sneaky fast, hides the ball pretty well, slings it. I don't see Gomez take too many of those.
And he got him. Addison Reed gives the Diamondbacks 5 big outs tonight. Gomez frustrated. The Brewers trail 5-4 to the 9th. Tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin, presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Book your stay now. The Friday night lights of Miller Park. Corey Knebel will get the 9th with the Brewers down a run, trying to keep it that way. Milwaukee will have the good part of their order coming up in the bottom of the 9th with Parra, Braun, and then the pitcher spot. So Knebel, his 5th appearance as a Brewer. He got some big league time last year with the Tigers. Was in the Joakim Soria deal, traded to the Rangers. And the Rangers flipped him to the Brewers this offseason in the Giovanni Gallardo deal. Gallardo pitched tonight for the Rangers. Josh Hamilton hit 2 homers tonight for Texas.
Well, he likes it there, doesn't he?
I think he does.
Very
Glad to be
comfortable
back
in Texas.
It was a really strange sequence there with the Angels and Hamilton, and they released him with a lot of money and years left on his contract. Really no risk for Texas. Rangers are leading the Red Sox tonight 7-4. They've had a good month. Knebel is a native Texan. He was very happy to be pitching in the Rangers system, but he is ecstatic to be with the Brewers here and a chance to be in the big leagues now. He started at AAA Colorado Springs, was their closer, and he has pitched pretty well in his 4 appearances. His first 3 were scoreless.
He gave up a run his last time out. That was Tuesday against the Giants. Pitched an inning, gave up a home run to Brandon Belt. That was in the 7th inning. Big fastball and a good curveball.
Inciarte in a 3-2 count. Bouncing ball. Segura can't quite get it. Base hit. Inciarte with 2 hits. He's going to push his average near 300. 299 now after that base hit. 2 for 4 tonight for the Diamondbacks leadoff hitter. Here's A.J. Pollock. Sophia's down there. She's got more on Corey Knebel, who is enjoying his time at Miller Park.
Yeah, before today's game, Craig Counsell saying what a terrific job Knebel has done in his 4 appearances. And he said, you know, he's really responded well to the experience. We knew he had a great arm, but he's earned these appearances because he's done so well in the tough spots. He says we've exposed him to some tough situations. He's responded well and gives them a lot of options. So he said he's gone through the middle of the lineup a few times, and so it's good for him to get that confidence to know that he can go through the heart of an order. Well,
and it's another test, right? Sophia here with the top of the order, and he's going to have to face Goldschmidt next. That ball's hit deep. Pollock sends Braun back. That one is off the top of the wall and out of here. And the home runs keep coming for Arizona. They have taken this 1-run lead to a 3-run lead now. 7-4 as A.J. Pollock hits his 5th.
He took that one to the opposite field. Hit that one pretty well. His first hit. Check it out. He lets it travel, gets back into the zone a little bit, and just puts a good swing on it and carries out of here at Miller Park tonight. Ball is flying pretty good. Right off the top of the fence and into the Diamondbacks bullpen.
4 of the 8 position players in the starting lineup have homered tonight. That was a costly one there. 7-4 now. Pollock joins Inciarte, Peralta, and Ahmed with homers. Goldschmidt. 2 balls and a strike. Brewers in danger of losing their 6th consecutive game. The worst record in the big leagues right now. That's a drive down the right field line. That is a fair ball. Sticks in the corner. Goldschmidt with a double. Man, what a night he's had. 3 hits, 3 doubles.
And 2 of his extra base hits have come to right field. Check this out. I mean, he's a power hitter right here. Curveball that was up in his zone, but he just serves it out there down the line and right. Just misses the chalk line, and the guy can hit.
David Peralta now, who's been on 3 times, a double, a homer, and a walk. So it is impressive what Paul Goldschmidt has done at Miller Park. This is his 10th career game at Miller Park. He has a .452 batting average with 9 doubles in 10 games, 4 homers, and 12 RBIs.
Time to start walking him.
Oh, my goodness.
Put him at first base. At least you know where he is, right? Something else.
Something about this ballpark. I mean, Miller Park is very similar to the Diamondbacks' home. Chase Field, same architect, has a similar kind of feel to it when you watch a game at those venues. This team can hit. They have 11 hits tonight. They are 4th in the National League in hitting as a team.
They have 7 runs tonight. They're 2nd in the league in runs. I don't think anybody would have guessed that, before this series.
Runner at second, nobody out, 2 runs are in, and Knebel misses. First and second. Things are getting uglier. Rick Kranitz is on his way out. Knebel trying to get it together here in the 9th. 4 consecutive base runners, 3 hits and a walk. Can't say enough about the job Addison Reed did tonight. You think about where the Brewers were. This game was looking real good for Milwaukee with the bases loaded and just 1 out. A wave and a miss by Tomas.
And the Brewers with their 4 or 5 hitters coming up.
How it can change.
I should say 5, 6 hitters coming up. Ramirez and Segura.
Another wave and a miss.
A difficult time is Knebel getting that curveball down.
First and second, nobody out. Got him. Strikeout for Knebel. First out of the inning. Tough night for Yasmani Tomas in his Miller Park debut. 0 for 5. He did have an RBI. A couple of strikeouts.
Yeah, couldn't hold up on that high fastball from Knebel. Knebel gets it up there, 94 to 96. Pretty much straight over the top. It's a pretty straight fastball. There's a good curve.
Congratulations to the Tampa Bay Lightning, Rock. They're headed to the Stanley Cup final. They beat the Rangers tonight.
Oh.
2-0. Shut them out. Wasn't that the Tampa Bay Lightning team that Euchre hung out with one night in Pittsburgh?
I believe it was, yep.
Didn't they? And they had a great run that year.
Right,
Didn't they win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know they went deep in the playoffs. I can't remember all the details, but Bob Euchre's got a story for everything, and he has a story about hanging out all night with the Tampa Bay Lightning.
In playing of Penguins.
They got a little bit of that Euchre magic. Saltalamacchia sends one out to Parra. Second out of the inning. Cardinals just capped off a shutout of the Dodgers. 3-0. John Lackey got the win. Rosenthal has 14 saves now for St. Louis. It's going to be the end of the night for Knebel. 2 outs in the 9th and a pitching change for Craig Counsell. Brewers down 3 now. Runs in this 9th inning. Got a homer from Ahmed in the 8th to take the lead, and then a 2-run shot by Pollock here in the 9th. And David Goforth is on the mound again. His major league debut was a success against the world champion Giants.
And AAA with a .343 earned run average in 16 games. 18 punch-outs down in AAA Colorado Springs in 21 innings of work. Pitched 2/3 of an inning on Tuesday in his major league debut here against the Giants.
He'll face Chris Owings, who is the 7th batter of the inning. Still 2 on. Goldschmidt doubled. Peralta walked. Knebel came back, retired the next 2 hitters, and now Goforth trying to get the Brewers to the dugout, down only 3. Goforth will bring Centeno out to talk about the signs. Tomorrow the Brewers will send up Kyle Loesch. Again, that game's on Fox Sports 1. 3 o'clock is airtime in the Central Time Zone. Back here on Fox Sports Wisconsin Sunday afternoon for a 1 o'clock game, 12:30 for Brewers Live. And then it's off to St. Louis. I mentioned the Cardinals shut out the Dodgers tonight. Battle of 2 first-place teams. St. Louis now 32-16.
Best record in the big leagues.
Cardinals have opened up a 6.5 game lead over the Cubs. One and 2 the count. Goforth's not a big guy, but he's got a lot of life on his fastball. From Ole Miss.
Yeah, rushes it up there at about 94 miles an hour. Throws all four. Fastball, curve, slider, changeup.
Trying to strand a couple of runners. Get the final out here in the 9th. Bunch of finals in tonight. Rangers hung on to win. They beat Boston 7-4. Gallardo is 5-6, a 3.88 ERA. Got the win tonight. Cincinnati over Washington 5-2. Marlins beat the Mets 4-3. The Fighting Fish. Swing and a miss. Go forth with a strikeout. The inning is over, but the Diamondbacks do damage. They score twice. 7-4. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Last call for the Brewers here. Got a new third baseman. That is Cliff Pennington. As Chip Hale shores up his defense. Brad Ziegler is the new closer for the Diamondbacks, and he's on to try to nail it down.
Yeah, good numbers. The sidearmer, very tough on right-handed batters. 23rd appearance. And a 125 earned run average. And he's got 2 saves on the season.
Ziegler had some troubles his last time out trying to protect a 1-run lead in St. Louis Wednesday. Hayward hit a home run off of him to tie it, and then the Cardinals won that game. They swept Arizona. So that's his last memory. He's back on the mound with 3 runs to work with. Addison Reed pitched a gem tonight out of the bullpen for the Diamondbacks. Gave him 5 big outs and a lot of runners on base. Parra to lead it, Braun to follow, and then a pinch hitter. Two and 2 to Parra. And Parra down the right field line, a base hit. Thinking about 2, he's on his way. The throw comes in late. That is a double for Parra. Catches the baseball on the hop.
Well, one more base runner and see if somebody can knock one out of here. Yeah, Gerardo Parra with double number 11 this year. Out in front, but keeps the bat in the hitting zone long enough and able to get it down the line.
How about that play by Inciarte?
Yeah, huh?
Gave him a chance. I got that. There you go. So Parra with 2 hits tonight. Here comes Ryan Braun. Well, those 2 the Diamondbacks scored in the 9th. Those are crushing runs late if you're trying to come back. Braun's had a good night again. On base 3 times, 2 hits. He's scored a run, scored 2 runs actually. Has a steal in this game. Tell you, Ziegler's confidence has to be rattled a little bit. He's given up a lot of hits in his last couple of outings. Slow roller. Gonna be a tough play. Pennington, bare hands, throws out at first.
Yeah, we're going to look at that one, I would imagine. Craig Counsell's going to ask anyway.
Braun seems pretty confident. He's staying put. This was a bang-bang play and a heck of a play by Pennington.
Yeah, just in the game and do or die bare hand pickup, and well, that's pretty close.
Looks like he got him from that angle. This one we'll see. Whew, that's a close one. Counsell's going to go ahead and
he's going to ask for a review, right?
So it says, why not?
What do you got to lose? I'm not sure there's enough to overturn it. This is one heck of a play for a guy that just came into the game.
This will be the most definitive look at it with the super slow-mo. And, man, tough call. Again, it goes to the call on the field. Yeah, I think he got him. That's a good call there.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough to overturn it.
Good work by our crew in the trucks. Good camera work. First challenge took a little over 2 minutes.
This one shouldn't take too long, you would think.
Well, that one was confirmed, and headsets are coming off. Out is the call.
Yeah.
So Braun is retired. Heck of a play by Cliff Pennington.
Yeah. Coming in, he was playing behind the bag. And he was coming in hot and able to make a good throw to first base.
So the call is confirmed. 1 away with a runner at third now. Elian Herrera will pinch hit. Chip Hale made the move to get Pennington in the game to tighten up his D. Tomas doesn't make that play, I don't think. Instead of the tying run at the plate, Herrera's trying to get Ramirez up there with a chance to tie it up.
Brewers don't have but one option on that bench. Martin Maldonado, the only position player left.
Hector Gomez had a pinch hit appearance, had a base hit. Rogers had a hit in his first at bat. Came in defensively first. Chris Davis drew a walk. All of the hitters off the bench in their first plate appearances have had success tonight. Herrera trying to keep it going. 1-2 the count on Elian, switch hitter. A little flare left field line, foul. Ziegler has that unusual throwing motion and is extremely durable. Led the National League in games 2 years ago. At 78. At 68 last year. Just looks effortless with that down under delivery.
Yeah, not as effective against lefties as it is against right-handers.
"35 years of age." Ziegler deals it, and Herrera fouls it off. Ziegler had a great season going. Earned his way into that closer's role, at least for now, until his last time out. Herrera hanging tough. Something about those last 3 outs.
Yeah.
Not everybody can do it.
Going to have that special mentality. Short memory. Can't worry about what you did the night before.
1-2 again in tight. Almost hit him. Ziegler had only given up 2 earned runs all season until his outing against the Cardinals. Gave up 2 runs in that game. One of them was earned. Took the loss in a blown save.
Not too many closers out there in baseball, especially in the big leagues, that have a fastball that tops out at 85.
Right.
It's all about the arm angle for Ziegler.
That's going to get a run home, but it'll be an out, and the Brewers are down to their last out. RBI for Herrera. It's 7-5. And here comes Ramirez. So Herrera with a ribby. And now Ramirez trying to reach for Segura. It's interesting that the Diamondbacks as a team have only 6 saves this year.
Right.
3 different players with 2 saves. Ziegler would be their team leader in saves with 1 more out with
For
3.
a team with 21 wins, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Marlins only have 5 coming into tonight.
The Brewers have 8. Francisco Rodriguez has all 8. Ramirez, deep right field. Got a chance. Back at the track is Inciarte, and the game is over. And the Brewers lose their 6th consecutive game. 7-5 Arizona. Reed picks up the win. Broxton the loss. Ziegler save number 3. Tough night for the Brewers bullpen tonight. Time for Brewers Live. We check in with Craig Kashawn. He's standing by with Jerry Augustine. Take it away, Craiger.
Okay, BA, thanks very much. Another tough one, as you mentioned. We'll get inside that Brewer clubhouse. You'll hear from Craig Counsell as well. Break this game down and get you set for Game 2 as the Brewers try to get back on track on Saturday.